breakfast going. Got the coffee, McDonald's, Murfreesboro, the donuts from Donut Country, and Prentice Allsup Heating and Air bringing you the Coach's Corner here this morning. Glad you're along with us here today on this last day of August. We have completed now week 2 of the high school football season. Some great games last night. Really all around Rutherford County and even, I guess we have to say, the South. As Oakland went to Anna, Texas to take on the Coyotes, the defending 4A Texas state champion last night. So we've got all the scores this morning. We've got the coaches who will be joining, and we'll be talking about last night's games and looking ahead to week 3. It'll be one of our last non-region games here for a little bit next week. So looking forward to that. Got some in-county matchups, well, at least one. And we'll talk all about that here this morning. Our order of coaches, by the way, Riverdale at 9 o'clock, Smyrna at 9:15, it's Blackman at 9:30, and Laverne at 9:45 this morning. And the Riverdale-Smyrna-Blackman segments are going to be handled by Bill Hockenberry this morning. Then I'm going to come along here for Laverne at 9:45 again. Oakland at 10 o'clock, Stewart's Creek at 10:15, Rockvale at 10:30. And then John will wrap us up here this morning. His first chance to talk with Siegel, Eagleville, and then MTCS Cougar Corner at 11:15 today. So that is our order of coaches here this morning, and we'll have some happy coaches and some that are not so happy about last night's results, I guess, but that's how it always is. Let's look at the Jennings and Ayers Funeral Home scoreboard from the games last night, a game I hope you heard on WGNS. It was Blackman and Stewart's Creek. Stewart's Creek got out to a lead. Blackman just wouldn't give up and took advantage of some special teams things that happened in last night's game, if you will, and won that game 42-35. That was the final score, 42-35. Blackman defeating Stewart's Creek. Got up by a couple of touchdowns. Stewart's Creek, they came roaring back. It was really a game of huge momentum swings for both teams last night. Blackman winning at home, 42-35. It was Siegel holding on to win at Laverne, 28-22. A heck of a game from what I understand. 28-22 Siegel defeating the Laverne Wolverines. Rockvale last night taking on the Smyrna Bulldogs. It was the third Rutherford County, all Rutherford County matchup, and it was Rockvale getting the victory, 31-14. Elsewhere, the Riverdale Warriors welcomed in Henry County, and it was 10-3 for the longest, it seemed. But Riverdale finally pulls away at the end, 34-12 over Henry County and the Patriots. Speaking of the Oakland Patriots, they defeat Anna, Texas, 52-48. Let's see, it was 28-13 at halftime, Anna on top, and then they were getting ready to go up, the Coyotes, trying to punch in that 34th and 35th point there, if you will, and Oakland gets the ball, takes it downfield, and scores, and then it was kind of a back-and-forth game. Oakland taking a 2-touchdown lead late and holding on to win at the end by a final score of 52-48. Kevin Creasy will join us this morning by phone. I'm pretty sure they're not back from the Fort Worth area just yet. Eagleville dispatched Community 62-6 last night. Congrats to the Eagles. Floyd Walker will be in to talk about that. Masters Academy down to MTCS 42-0, and it was Cannon County over PCA by a final of 19-13 in another very close game. That was at Cannon County last night. Next week, the games that we'll be looking ahead to, Siegel at Smyrna. We'll be broadcasting that game next week. Hillsboro is at Stewart's Creek. Riverdale at Beach. Haywood is at Oakland. It's Rockvale at Tullahoma. A test on the road for the Rockets. Blackman is at Ravenwood. A test on the road for the Blaze. It will be Laverne at Wilson Central, Moore County at Eagleville, MTCS at Grace Christian, and Middle Tennessee Christian School at PCA. So that is a slate of the games we've got coming up for you next week. All right, well, it's time to jump into the conversation. Bill Hockenberry is up with Riverdale, Smyrna, and Blackman here in the first 45 minutes. And then right around 9:45, I'll be in to take you through Laverne, Oakland, Stewart's Creek, and Rockvale before John wraps us up with Siegel, Eagleville, and an MTCS Cougar Corner on this Saturday morning.
Winners Trophies can help you with customized awards for any occasion. Owner Kelly Hockenberry continues to provide awards for sports teams, churches, recognition awards, and more. Call Winners Trophies at 904-6002. That's 904-6002 for the best in quality, service, and pricing. You can also email Kelly, winnerstrophy@comcast.net. That's winnerstrophy@comcast.net. Any award for any occasion. Winners Trophies, 904-6002.
We're at Rick's Barbecue on Warrior Drive, talking with Anne Marie Brentz.
When people walk in and they're like, tell me what's good, I usually tell them the loaded baked potato, which is a fully loaded potato with the butter, sour cream, cheese, bacon, and chives, and then we put meat on top of it.
At Rick's, they use the largest potatoes you can find.
Every Tuesday, we run a special on the loaded potatoes. We call it Tater Tuesday, and we sell a lot of potatoes.
Barbecue, smoked chicken, ribs, they've got it all at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive, and online at ricksbbq.com.
I'm Good Neighbor State Farm Agent Celeste Middleton, and I'd love the opportunity to talk to you about the significant rate decrease we're experiencing now. Let me compare coverage and possibly save you hundreds on your home and auto. Call me at 615-895-2700.
Renters, when you combine State Farm Auto and Renters Insurance, you will save money. I'm State Farm Agent Dana Womack, and I'd love to talk to you about combining your auto and Renters Insurance to help you save. Call me at 615-900-0877.
At First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, we believe in making a difference in everything we do. From helping local businesses grow to guiding families towards financial stability, we are improving lives one customer at a time. Hi, I'm John Allen, Vice President and Commercial Banker.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. Online at fnbmt.com.
Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
All right, we're back in. The Coaches Show is brought to you by Craig's Tax Service, specializing in personal and business tax preparation, financials, and bookkeeping services. Find out more at craigstaxservice.com. And this morning we are welcoming in Riverdale head coach Will Kreisky with the big Warrior win last night to improve to 2-0 on the season with a 34-12 win over Henry County. Welcome this morning, Coach. How you doing?
Good morning. Doing well. I think I got dehydrated last night. That humidity was pretty rough, but the kids played well. You had a really different week, with the heat and extreme heat. We brought the kids in a lot Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning before school so we can get some time outside. And with the luxury of having that turf, you're able just to go straight to the practice field when we get there, and the kids really did well with it. They enjoyed the mornings so much they've asked that we continue at least trying to do 2 days in the morning, which has kind of surprised me. But it can be a different schedule, which is good because you get them in the morning, then we'll lift them fourth block and do our meetings, and then they can. We'll do some walkthroughs after our, school, and then we can send them home by 4:30, and I think they like that a lot.
And that's got to be a good adjustment, being able to go home at 4:30 every day and getting a little bit of rest and get through the week. That's got to help you out.
Yeah, and I think it's good for them. Kind of, I felt like our morning practices were better than our after school practices. So I'm going to talk to the staff about next week and maybe adjust it a little bit. But it was good week. Tough ball game, real tough ball game last night.
Yeah. It was a real good win over a good Henry County team, and I know it was avenging a loss from last year. I know that was probably, y'all talked about that probably all last week, and also playing that first game on the turf. I mean, it was really nice to see that turf out there on TV last night.
Yeah, it was real nice. I appreciate it. I've had administration. They've been helping me a lot. We've been working on a project for the last 2 or 3 weeks on a situation, and Coach Master and Ms. King and Ms. Blair did a wonderful job. People sometimes don't really understand that sometimes things take you away from football and you need other people to help you out. And I have a great support system around me, and those guys did a great job to help me get the situation taken care of and kind of let me still be a football coach and not have to deal with some of the situations. And I appreciate that. I'm lucky. And last night I think they had the place set up, the stadium and everything beautiful, and I think they did a great job. I didn't hear of any complaints, or they didn't say anything to me, but I think they did a great job with the event last night.
Yeah, it looked outstanding on TV last night. And, just talking about, a couple of your guys last night, quarterback Malachi Tellin last night threw a touchdown pass, 11-16, a pass for over 120 yards. Thought he did a really good job of commanding your team when you needed him to.
Yeah, he did a great job. He led the offense last night, played well, and I was proud of him. And, he did some really good things. That defense was really physical and got after us. And, our offensive line did well again. It was another big test, and I thought they played really well up front to be able to give him some time in the pocket to be able to make the decisions to throw. And then also I thought they did a good job of, opening up holes. The O-line did a great job opening up holes for DJ and Caden Bailey to give us some good runs.
Yeah, your 2 running backs I thought really were key last night in your victory. Had some big runs, especially in the second half. I think Caden had a 61-yard touchdown run, and DJ had a couple of touchdown runs last night for you.
Yeah, they did. They both played really well, and they, I got to brag a little bit. I think that our special teams game played really well last night, and I think the special teams, the little mistakes that we made on special teams and the more mistakes they made, that was the difference. They had a bad snap on punt, and we were able to get after them. And then, Khalil Armand had another good night on field goals, was 3 for 3 on field goals last night. And that's huge. His kickoffs were in the end zone. Our kickoff returns. Cam Booker got cleared last week. He was been out due to a shoulder injury, and so they were trying to kick it away from DJ last night on the kickoffs, on the kickoff returns, and they kicked it to Cam, and Cam's just as lethal as him. I think Cam was one cut away on one of those returns from scoring. So our kickoff return has put us in really good field position, and that helps the inexperienced offense when you're playing on a short field instead of having to drive. I don't know if you noticed, they punted the ball one time and got it inside the 5, and we had a tough time coming out of that situation. Luckily, they got a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty to get us out of that hole. Mm-hmm. And if they didn't, we were going to have to punt deep in our own end.
Absolutely. I thought, you got up 10-0 at the half last night, and I thought, a big drive in the game last night was your first drive coming out the third quarter, where you had a 3rd and 15, you picked it up, and you ended up getting a field goal to give you a 13-point lead. I know that you wanted a touchdown right there to give you a 3-score advantage, but I still thought that was a big point in the game to get up another score and try to give you some separation.
Yeah, that 3rd and 15 was huge. We were backed up, and they made a good throw. Taylor made a good throw to Booker, and Booker made a catch, and got just right across the line. I think it was a 16-yard reception right there, so it was a really good play. And then again, that's what we got to get better at as an offensive unit. We got to finish our drives inside the red zone. The last 2 weeks, we've left a lot of points on the board. We've got against Smyrna, we got inside the red zone 3 times and didn't score, and didn't even come away with points against Smyrna. And then last night, 3 times the red zone, 3 field goals, and it's I can't speak volumes of how important Khalil Armand has been for this team and this young offense. I mean, he's really made a difference with the field goals, with the extra points. We blocked 2 of their extra points last night.
Yeah,
and that's huge. That changed the game and changed how they were, with the scoring, and gave us an extra advantage. And then, being able to have him on kickoffs and pinning the team back, they're playing a young quarterback. Henry County did last night, so they were going to have to drive 80 yards every time they had the ball.
And that I think that's something overlooked, especially in high school football. I mean, having a kicker like Khalil, that's just such a weapon to have. And, making teams go 80 yards, your defense, as well as your defense is playing, you like your chances of making them go 80 yards and stopping them and at some point getting a stop.
Yeah, I'd take 80 yards over 50 yards any day.
Absolutely.
So it's been a good weapon to have so far, and he's worked really hard on that. So we're doing well. He's doing well, and then like you said, our defense is playing well. JoJo Smith's doing a great job leading that defense, and I think our inside backers are getting better every week. Aiden Edmonds and Jeremiah Weaver. The secondary's playing pretty good right now. I mean, they didn't really get tested last night. The quarterback for Henry County ran it 32 times, I think he threw it 8 times. So they weren't really tested last night in the secondary, but they had to come down and be physical and be part of the run game. And a lot of times those DBs aren't great at coming down and being physical in the run game, but I thought our guys did a great job playing that game and keeping their guys inside the box and not letting them get loose in space.
Yeah, watching your game last night, I thought, as a coach, it's a game that you love winning. You beat a really good Henry County opponent, but I also think, as a coach, you had 11 penalties for about 100 yards last night, and I know those are things you want to get cleaned up, and I think that's going to be good for you going into Sunday. You can get the kids' attention. Yeah, we had a big win, but these are some things that we want to clean up as we go forward.
Yeah, I know it was a bad night for both teams on penalties.
Yep.
I think they had 13 and we had 12. Because I saw there was 25 total penalties. I think they had 13 penalties for 108 yards, and we had 12 penalties for 104 yards. Yeah. So that's crazy. I mean, it was evenly called. You know what I mean? So nobody could complain about officiating. And but yeah, that's something we do need to clean up. Our receivers made a few mistakes. We had block in the back twice by receiver. We had 2 holdings by receivers. We had 2 offsides by receivers. So that stuff is killing us, and we got to fix that with our. Now we got a talented receiver core. We just got to get them locked in and understand their situation and just settle down. They got to relax and settle down.
And I can think, I can see, watching last night, you're young, it's young together. Some of them are upperclassmen, but they're younger as far as playing experience. You can see them growing up a little bit as you go. Only week 2, and you can see the growth from week 1, and you expect to see that next week and next week's going forward.
Yeah, I know. And as long as you're growing each week, it's a good sign. And when you start taking a step backwards, that's when you start to worry. But yeah, I thought that last night it wasn't great. We didn't play a great football last night, but again, we got better in some areas, and we're going in the right direction right now.
Absolutely. I thought, it was a really good crowd too. The Riverdale community came out last night. You could kind of tell they were out there in full force, and you got a big week next week playing at Beach, going up there, and I know they're a very talented team and going to test you a little bit.
Yeah, Beach is really, really talented. They got their quarterback back. He's a junior. He's 6'5", I think, 230, can run, can throw. He's committed to play baseball, be a pitcher for Kentucky. He's very athletic. They got some receivers that can run and really catch the ball. They got 2 running backs that are pretty talented. O-line is really big. I know they got a Titans O-line coach. His son joined them this year, so they're going to be very similar to Henry County, but be able to throw the ball downfield more, get it vertical, get in the vertical passing threat more. So that's going to test our DBs. Our DBs can't just sit in the box all night and expect to run. They're going to have to be awake, stay on their toes, and be ready. It's because they're going to go run, throw it deep. You know what I mean? So we got to be ready.
And I think seeing the different style, that's going to help you when you get into region play. Different things that different teams in the region do. I mean, that's just really good. I think your schedule, non-conference, really does help you and give you a chance to really succeed as you go forward.
Yeah, and that's why you schedule those teams to get ready. I mean, you have 4 weeks of non-region games, and you need 4 tough teams because everybody around here knows our region and our district and teams we got to play. So I feel like these first 4 weeks will get us ready and prepared for a region play.
We appreciate it, Coach, and good luck next week as the Warriors take on Beach at Beach next week, and good luck to you. This was head coach Will Kreisky of the Riverdale Warriors.
How about a fix for your sweet tooth? Donut Country is open 24 hours a day to cure your cravings. They've been serving up the freshest donuts in Murfreesboro since 1978. There's just something different about donuts from Donut Country. Bo and Cindy Davis and their wonderful staff will greet you with a smile, and you'll see all donuts aren't created equal. Fresh donuts anytime you want them 24/7 at Donut Country on Memorial down from Clark. And they're open each morning on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Check out their Facebook page for specials and promotions. Nothing else compares to Donut Country. Open 24 hours.
Quick, convenient, efficient.
three words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. I've lived and worked as a lawyer in Middle Tennessee for over 30 years, and to me, every single day has been an honor. That's why our firm is so involved with community programs like bicycle helmet giveaways and our Safe Ride Home program. At the Law Offices of John Day, we're not just looking to make donations. We want to make a difference in the community we hold so dear. And if you're ever injured, know that we are here for you too.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
I'm Ian Young. I'm at Las Casas Feed Supply. I'm selling beef and pork, 100% Angus, raised here in Las Casas. Come get you some.
Everyone's favorite cuts available, even options to purchase a quarter of a steer.
We got the beef. Hello, everybody. Las Casas Feed Supply.
Family owned and operated, Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East.
Don't let concerns about today's events derail your long-term financial strategy. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin, and I'm here to help. We can work together to understand the impact of these events and make sure that your goals are top of mind. While you can't control market volatility, we'll help focus on what you can control. We can connect in several virtual ways. Start by giving me a call at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by State Farm agents Andy Womack, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, Ron Reeves, and Emerson Williams. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And we are now joined by Smyrna head coach Matt Williams. Good morning, Coach. How are you doing this morning?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. I know last night was a tough one, 31-14 loss at Rockville. But I thought you had some, got off to a good start last night. Got up 7-0 early in the first quarter.
Yeah, we did get off to a good start. But I think sort of the thing that told the story on that, even on that touchdown, we had unsportsmanlike right after the play that affected our kickoff on the kickoff there. It sort of set the tone, I think, for the rest of the night. We just did a lot of out-of-character things. Disappointing the outcome, but the positive is it was a non-region game. We're going to learn from it, and we're going to find out who really wants to contribute, who wants to be coached. But I think the biggest thing last night, we had a lot of kids that didn't do things that they've been coached to do, and that's on me, and I got to do a better job with it. But again, the positive is we're going to learn from it, and we're going to find the 11 that want to be coached, and 11 that want to do the things we're asking them to do, and get better.
Absolutely, Coach, and we know that you're going to get it done, and you've been there and had a lot of success at Smyrna, and we know that that's going to come here in the next couple weeks. I thought, you got some good performances last night from Aiden Augustine. He ran for over 100 yards and scored a touchdown last night, and that's some good stuff to see.
Yeah, at times we, did a good job up front blocking, and he made a few plays in the run game. Just got to be more consistent with that. I thought Rockville did a good job last night of taking our run game away, in certain times there. But Aiden did some good things off the line at times, showed flashes of doing some good things. We just got to do a better job here and there of the little things. There were plays that presented themselves last night. We didn't take them. Our quarterback plays got to be better. Britain had a really good game. I thought against Riverdale the week before. And last night wasn't his night. I know he's a determined competitor. He'll come back and do better next week. But just a lot of things to fix. It's a good thing again. It's early, and it's not our expectation at Smyrna High School to start off 0-2, and it's definitely not mine. And I can assure everybody we're going to get it fixed, and we're going to get it fixed quick. So that has already started. I'm on my way to the UT game, and we're in Knoxville and Knoxville right now. I'm going to watch Aaron Carter play, get to visit with
Well, that's awesome. And, we also know that the tradition that Smyrna football's had, and you got a good fan base, and the tradition that's started really with you and Philip Shade Owens and everybody down there at Smyrna. You also had some good performances last night. A kickoff return from Tyreek McCarver for a touchdown, and that's a big part of your game too.
Yeah, Tyreek's been really good for us. Last week had a really good game. Had 2 touchdown catches last night. A kickoff return and made some plays in the passing game. And he plays a lot of plays. We've got to find a way really to get him find a way to get him off the field at times because he's playing a tremendous amount of plays, and that takes a toll. But yeah, he made some plays. And I was proud of some of our young guys last night. They may not grade out great, but we've got some sophomores, a lot of sophomores that played last night. David Sanders, I thought, played really hard, and Brody Hines is a junior. But Brody came in, didn't start the game, didn't pout about it, came in and did some really good things. When he got an opportunity. So we got guys that are playing hard and trying to do some good things. We just got to get everybody to buy in. The other ones that are not doing those things. But, proud of some of those young guys. Corey Weathers came in and showed some flashes. He's a sophomore corner for us and did some good things. And I thought our punter, LeVar Noor, that was a positive. I thought he did a good job punting the football last night. And he did a good job in kickoff game. I thought placing the football where he struggled with that the week before. So, trying to look at some positives this morning, and the biggest thing, I told the kids last night, we gotta start loving each other. When I say it, not just the other players on the team, but the coaches as well, and start buying into the little things. And if you're a defensive end, you're taught to squeeze the down block. You need to squeeze the down block, not run straight up field and get kicked out. And little things like that, we got to be more coachable on. And we're going to find the ones that are going to do those things. And they may be sophomores. That's the thing. We don't really care who's doing it. We just want them to be coachable and do it the right way, and we're going to find those guys.
Absolutely, Coach. And, I think one of the good strengths that you have in your program is your non-conference or non-region schedule. You're playing a lot of these teams in the Murfreesboro area, and, this is just going to help you get prepared for when region play starts.
Yeah, that's the hope. You play a tough Riverdale team, and, Rockville, I thought, hats off to them last night. I thought they outfitted. First of all, they outcoached us. Coach Guthrie evidently did a better job preparing his team than I did. And so, kudos to him for that. And I thought they were more physical than we were last night, and they were, they executed better. And the biggest thing we've got to do is when we had times last night where plays presented themselves or opportunities to make plays, and we didn't make them. So we've got to put more pressure on them in practice again. That starts with maybe we got to, do some things in practice, put more pressure on them and put them in situations where they got to try to make tough plays. And I think, hopefully that'll spill over to the Friday night games.
Absolutely. And, Coach, we were talking to some of the coaches this morning about, the heat that you had to deal with this past week. Did the heat kind of alter your practice routine and times and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we went Monday afternoon. It wasn't too bad. We got some practice on Monday afternoon. We went Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning. And, of course, it was, 70 degrees, so heat wasn't an issue at all. Some of that I sort of chuckle at because we can't practice in the heat and we get sent inside. But on game night, we all got lucky last night. It was a blessing. All those clouds rolled in, had the rain, and it really cooled the things off. So heat wasn't even a factor last night. But we can't practice in it. But last night, if it had been 95 degrees, we'd have just played in it. So that to me, that needs to be looked at because that worries me at times. We're going to talk about acclimation. If you're not practicing in it, you're definitely not you're going to struggle when you play in it. So I think everybody caught a break last night with the weather being cool, but I think some of that needs to be looked at as far as just acclimation and being able to practice in some of that heat.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. That's tough. That's a tough deal. There's got to be some kind of median there, and I guess that'll be looked at as we go forward. I know that next week y'all host the Siegel Stars and look back to get in the winning ways next week.
You got Coach Renshaw does a great job, and they're coming off a win. I just checked the scores, and they had a win last night and got back on the right track. I know they struggled a little bit on the first week against Shelbyville, but got back in the right, the win column last night. So they're going to be riding high, and I know they do a great job coaching those guys. We're going to have to be really prepared. So, we can't feel sorry for ourselves. We talked about last week, you can't let one loss turn into two. And, unfortunately, we're in the situation we can't let two turn into three. So, got to have a great week of preparation and got to pick our chins up off the ground and get ready for another good football team.
Yes, sir. And looking at some of the positive, I thought your defense, last night that they're held in check as much as they possibly could last night.
Yeah, we got put in some tough positions, I think. But I thought at times, I thought at the start of the game we really played good defense. And, I think maybe we were relaxed. I'm not sure what happened, but offensively we've got to move the ball better, move the chains, keep our defense off the field. And that's something we got to do a better job of. And last night at times we didn't do that, and there were some simple things we missed. Quarterbacks got to see the blitz coming. One time we swing our back into the blitz and do not see it and get sacked. And those are little things. From the fans' perspective, you're probably griping at the offensive line that we got sacked, but it had nothing to do with the offensive line because it's the extra linebacker blitz, and we account for that with the back being swung out of the backfield. Little things like that to extend drives and to create big plays, we've got to do a better job of. But, yeah, I thought defensively at times we showed what we're capable of, but, we just got to be more consistent in that.
Absolutely. And talk a little bit about your special teams, Coach. You made a couple extra points, and, I feel like you got a pretty solid special teams unit there.
They got better last night. We to be honest with you, the first week it was it was one of the reasons we got beat. But I do think last night you're correct. I think it was better all the way around. We've still got some things to clean up. Of course, it's never perfect, but I do think we're better in our kick placement and some of our execution on special teams. We still obviously got some things to fix, but it was better than it was week one.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what are some things you're looking forward to improving from week 1, week 2, now to week 3 as we get closer and closer to region play?
Well, the biggest thing is being coachable. I mean, people sometimes don't understand what I mean by that. Being coachable means you're going to take in everything a coach says, and you're going to do it exactly how he's asking it to be done. You're not going to ad-lib in any way. You're not going to do it your own way. And, if we can do that, we'll be okay. And the other thing we've got to improve on, quite frankly, is we got to make plays when they present themselves. If you get thrown the ball and it hits you in the chest, you got to catch the football. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And if you're one-on-one in the open field with a guy and you get to tackle him, you get to tackle him, not dive at his ankles. And so we've got to make plays when the plays present themselves. And that's something, again, it all falls back to me. I'm not, when I say these things, I'm not blaming the kids. And I'm the one in charge of teaching those kids. And if we're not executing those things, then I've got to do a better job teaching them. And we as the coaching staff have got to do a better job. So we'll put it on our shoulders and we'll get better. And, I'm not going to, I'm not a quitter. I think everybody knows that. I'm not a front runner. So we're going to get better, and we're going to find 11 that really want to be there, really want to be coached, and 11 that love their teammates. We're going to move forward.
Absolutely, Coach. We know what you're about. We know what kind of program you've built and what kind of staff you've put together, and we know that there are going to be some brighter days coming for the Smyrna Bulldogs. So
that's the plan.
All right, the Coaches Show is brought to you by State Farm agent Andy Womack, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, Ron Reeves, and Emerson Wilson. Like a neighbor, State Farm is there. We appreciate Coach Williams for taking some time this morning. Good luck to you next week, Coach.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Choosing the right insurance can be overwhelming. That's where Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance comes in. At Rayburn, we're not just about policies, we're about people. Rick Hall will take the time to understand your needs and find the best coverage at the best price. We've been serving our community since 1973. So why not let Rick Hall take the stress out of insurance? Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency, where you're more than just a policy number. You're our neighbors.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
We fulfill all your tax preparation needs from individual returns to corporations and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. Let's hear what some customers have to say about Dr. Automotive.
I just really appreciate Danny and his whole team. I always feel like I'm going to get great service and the right outcome.
You just don't find any better people.
He's always been very good.
We've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly, mile after mile. Visit our website, smyrnaautorepair.com.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Dr. Automotive, the cure for your car, professional auto repair and maintenance from ASE certified mechanics and master mechanics. Check them out online at autorepairsmyrna.com. And now we're going to welcome in Blackman head coach Matt Kreisky. The Blaze improved to 1-1 last night with a big 42-35 hard-fought win over Stewart's Creek. Welcome this morning, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
All right. This was a really good, fun game to watch from a fan perspective last night, and I really was impressed with how your guys played last night.
Yeah, I thought we came out a little sluggish in the first half. We did not start out how we wanted to, but when we went into halftime, I got the guys together as soon as we got in, and I really challenged them about what we've been doing, our expectations, and the season. I felt like right there the season was going to go one or two ways. Either they were going to respond how we wanted them to, how we thought they could, or they were going to lay down. But they did not. They came out the second half and did what we wanted to do. We were able to see some things offensively. Coach Andrew and Coach Eddings did a great job making some adjustments. And Coach Crosby did too on defensive side of the ball. Him and Coach Holman, Coach Gregory, Coach Bank, they did a great job. We were very fortunate to make some key adjustments going into the second half.
Yeah, and I thought one of the biggest things that stood out to me was your offensive line play. Like, I feel like you got a pretty solid offensive line, and it looks like they're coming together as a group.
Man, I can't say enough about those guys. They're quiet leaders. All they do is they come to work each and every single day, do everything we ask them to do, don't say a word. They're typical old linemen. You get them behind closed doors, they're goofy, they're funny, they're fun to be around, but when we get on the field, they don't say a word. They just come to work. Can't say enough about the Molina brothers, Hudson Lee, Kennedy Jackson, Chris is in there. So it's just a great group of guys we got.
Absolutely. And you have two really good running backs too. I thought they both played really well last night. Grant Gardner, 17 rushes, over 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then you had Jabari Kemp rushed 14 times for about 125 yards and 2 touchdowns also.
Yeah, those guys are doing great. And this day and time, you see guys get selfish, when they're not getting carries, they're not getting ball. But those two guys encourage each other. That they really help each other out. And we also got a third guy. I didn't get him in like I should. We got Daniel Smith. So I think we got 3 solid running backs that can play any time of the game. And they all 3 of them help each other out during the entire game in practice. Again, they're another group fun to be around.
Yeah, and I thought your quarterback was steady play last night. Jonathan Hamby, 3 of 5, 81 yards and 2 touchdowns. I thought he really ran your offense the way you wanted him to, and was really calm.
Yeah, he did a lot. I thought from week 1 to week 2, he really improved and did a great job. We're not going to ask him to do a lot of things. We know what Jonathan can do, and he's come a long way from the spring until now. He's a hard worker. He comes to practice each and every day wanting to get better. And you'll see as the season goes along, he'll continue to get better. He did what we asked him to do. We want to make short, quick throws. And then we wanted to run the football, them to come up, and then we take a shot with and try to hit Jaden Guy, and that worked in the second half.
Absolutely. You talked about Jaden Guy. That's a big weapon to have, and I really think with your style of play, hitting him once or twice in a game for big yardage like that, that's going to be a huge weapon as you go forward.
Yeah, and we knew, we try to get Jaden the ball a couple times each half. He's also a weapon on kickoff return. He's got quite a bit of yards. Ran one back, got called back last week. He's the guy that you get him the ball in space. He possibly could break it for 80 yards and for a touchdown. He's a big playmaker. He's getting to be the type of receiver that we want him to be. You see his speed, but also we want him to be more consistent blocking and just honing in on his fundamentals and technique and route running. And he's getting, you see that from last year to this year. He's made great strides and great improvement, and we'll hopefully continue to see that as it goes along. But as teams start keying on him, we've got other receivers. We've got Brylan O'Dore, John Dragoo, and Daniel Smith also plays some receiver. We got Kari Dixon. We got guys that can catch the ball and go the distance too. So whenever teams start focusing on Jaden Guy, we can spread the ball out a little bit.
Absolutely, and obviously I thought last night too, a big key for winning the game was your special teams. You had a block punt by Trenton Tyler in the end zone, and Austin Moore recovered it, and those are big turning points in games.
Yeah, 2 block punts in a game. You think you're going to win. So that happened last night for us. Coach Holman does a great job with our special teams. He really makes us spend a lot of time. It's just, special teams is not one of the things that we just throw in practice and get in and get out. We spend time each day on at least two special teams. That's an area that we would like to win each and every. There's 3 phases of the game. Special teams is an area we would like to win each and every week, and we appreciate. I can't say enough about what Coach Holman does with special teams and how he game plans each and every week for them. He saw that on their punt team that he thought that we could expose them in that area, and we were fortunate to get 2 key punt blocks last night.
It was very obvious just watching the game. You had a really good support from the Blackman community last night. It looks like it was a packed house. They came out. They were really loud from the opening kickoff, and that's got to really feed your team as you're going forward.
Yeah, I can't say enough about our student section last night. I kind of heard, I usually don't hear things in the crowd, but as the game was going on and they were kind of getting some momentum back, I heard our student section getting in the game, and I think and they don't realize how important they are.
Absolutely.
But as what they're doing and getting excited during the game, that gives the guys extra energy and motivation to finish the game. And I thought our crowd was outstanding last night. Can't say enough about Mr. Smith, Mr. Lawless, all they do to get the game and everything ready for the game for the entire community, so they can come out on Friday nights and enjoy the game.
And I was watching a little bit out of your game last night, and it was also noticeable is having the support. I saw Coach Workman sitting right there on your sidelines right there for the entire game last night. And the coaches at Blackman High School they are close-knit. You can just tell that, and they pull for each other.
Well, I know I'll probably run into Coach Workman on Monday. We'll see what type of coaching grade he gives me. Probably won't be very good. He's pretty hard on me. But, but he's someone that I really like talking to, leaning on, asking questions. He's been great since I've been there. He's helped me with certain things and being able to talk to him and getting ideas and suggestions. Coaching's coaching, you know that. And, being able to talk to somebody that has done it and has won as much as him, and be able for him to give you feedback and ways to do things, ways to look at things different, man. He's been a great person to be around.
Yes, and one of the things we've been asking the coaches this week: did the heat this week take away from your normal routines? Did you have to go more morning practices or go inside some?
So we went Monday. We did a normal practice. Tuesday and Wednesday we went at 6, got in before school, and I thought we had 2 really good practices. The only thing I was worried about was the heat, because it was cool. It did not get warm until towards the end of our practice. So we probably had a 20-minute time period where it was kind of warm. So that was concerning. But I thought the guys did well. If you look in the second half, if we don't get that punt on our punt return where we had a turnover where it hit one of our players, our defense was going to end up giving up only 7 points in the second half. That says a lot. Those guys came out and ready to play, and I thought they stayed on the field more than we wanted them to, but I think they handled it better this week than they did last week.
Absolutely. And I think, going back to it, your non-conference or non-region schedule is really going to prepare you for when you get into region play. You went up to Brentwood last week. You're up 14-3. It didn't turn out the way you wanted. You play a good Stewart's Creek team this week. Next week you got a real tough test at Ravenwood. Talk about your non-region games and how that's really going to help you going forward.
Yeah, week in and week out, we got a tough opponent. Brentwood's always 1 or 2 in that region. Stewart's Creek, they're tough, physical football team. Coach Caudell does a great job. I mean, it was a tough battle for past 2 weeks. We've been in tough battles for 4 quarters, and so hopefully that prepares us for the last 5 games that are the region games that are very important for us.
And I think we talked a little bit about it. You would like to have put that game away and maybe not have been as close at the end. Do you think that's the growth you can see between now week 2 and week 3 when you go back and talk to your team about the film and going forward to next week?
So as you play each week, we could have, on the schedule you could easily have somebody that you beat 40-0. But Stewart's Creek exposed us in other areas that we didn't see from Brentwood that we needed to fix this week. Playing tough teams week in and week out before you get into region play, that helps, areas of weakness, and you see things in your team that you need to improve and what you need to work on each week. We saw that, as a staff, we sit down and talked after the game. We talked about a few things and areas we need to improve on going into the Ravenwood game. Like you said earlier, we got Ravenwood next week. Coach Hester does an outstanding job. Can't say enough good things about Coach Hester. So it's going to be a challenge for us. They're one of the top teams in 6A, right up there with Oakland. So that we're trying to get to that point. And so for us to get to that point, we've got to continue to get better each week, and fine tune our areas of weakness.
Yeah, and last little thing right here, your defense, I thought that they're coming along too. Like they have the ability to play, to be fast and tackle, and I think that playing these different kind of teams is going to help you.
Yes, I can't say enough about our defensive line. Archie Roseman, he leads that group. Our linebackers, Ethan Carson, Rodney Irvin do a great job in secondary. We're fortunate we got Trey McGaffey back this week. Thought he had a good game. Just getting back in game shape will help him. Jalen Anderson's another DB that we got. We've got a core group of defensive guys that are highly intelligent, football IQ, and do an outstanding job for us.
Well, that's a lot to look forward to, and good win last night for the Blackman Blaze. This was head coach Matt Kreisky of the Blackman Blaze. The Coaches Show is brought to you by the law offices of John Day. They've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they're needed it the most. If you've been injured, call the law offices of John Day.
Here's your Little Caesar slices and sticks, half Italian cheese sticks, half pepperoni pizza. It's the world's greatest combination.
Carl? How could you? Sorry, PB&J. I wanted to try new things. No.
Have some for yourself.
Yes.
No! Get hot and ready slices and sticks for $6.99. Walk in and walk out between 4 and 8 p.m.
Little Caesars Pizza is a proud supporter of all Rutherford County high school athletes. Be sure to visit your Murfreesboro Little Caesars today.
Pizza. Parks Auction. We handle everything.
Whether you're buying or selling a home or whether you're buying or selling commercial property, the auction is just so much easier, quicker, smoother.
My wife and I sold our personal home. Parks Auctions helped us with that. The house brought about 20% more than we were going to ask for.
Visit our website at parksauction.com. To learn more,
Hey there, 12 and a half now, $15.
Stan Vaught and the Parks Auction team are proud supporters of local high school and MTSU sports.
30, sold it to you.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name, but there's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand behind his work and make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work. Dan France Concrete.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
Fast response if the power goes out.
An app that keeps me informed. Tips to lower my monthly bill.
Communication on things that matter to me.
Done, 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 done.
I want to know everything.
Everything? Well, young lady, let me show you the MyMTE app. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. What are some of the advantages that Carpets by Osborne has?
Being a family business and being locally owned and operated, we do free estimates. We have our own subcontractors that work for our business. We will come out, look at your floor covering. Throughout the whole process, you deal with an individual. You're not passed off to different contractors. We handle it from start to finish.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
whether you're a student, alumni, or just a fan, Raider Tees has exactly what you need to help you cheer on the Blue Raiders on game days and every moment in between. We sell officially licensed Blue Raider gear, whether it's clothing, hats, flags, chairs, or just whatever. We have it all, including exclusive gear you won't find anywhere else. Like us on Facebook for updates on new Blue Raider gear and special prices or discounts. For all your Blue Raider gear, shop Raider Tees today. Bigger, better, and go blue!
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Dan France Concrete, a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. That's Dan France Concrete. It is my honor to welcome in the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines, Mike Woodward, joining us here this morning. Coach, first time to talk to you this year. It is good to be with you.
I appreciate it. Always good talking to you, Brian.
Yeah. Man, you had a humdinger of a game last night with the Siegel Stars.
Yeah, sure did. Big crowd, home opener for us, in-county game. Great environment. Can't say enough about our school and our community coming out and supporting last night. And, a heck of a ball game. We just ended up a couple plays short, but it was a great environment last night.
Maybe kind of dug yourself a hole a little bit early on. I think Siegel was up 14-0, but you kept climbing back into it and had a chance late.
Yeah, did not. We didn't start, the way we wanted to, obviously. Had a bad snap on a punt, which really, basically gave them 7 points. I think they tackled our punter on the 2-yard line, and so they punched it in. So we started off in a big hole early, and then, they scored another touchdown with like a minute and a half or maybe a minute left in the half to go up 2 scores. So we just were really, sloppy, didn't come out with the energy we really wanted in the first half. I feel like in the second half we got things fixed and went out and played the way, we expected to play from the start. And I was, really proud of our guys, the way we played in the second half. But, we just got to figure out a way to play 4 quarters like the last 2 last night.
Coach, you've also, and I know that you have worked with this and your kids have, but kind of changing the way you do things offensively, you're going to have some of those times, I guess, inconsistencies, but you would hope that they get fewer and fewer. And from week 1 to week 2, we always talk about, that's usually when you see the biggest growth if you look back over the season as a whole. What do you think about that in terms of your team from week 1 to week 2?
Yeah, on the offensive side, I thought we played much, much better. I mean, first off, you can tell by the point production that we did a better job finishing off drives. Thought our quarterback, Dre DeMoss, did a really great job reading things in the run game and also making some throws. We come out in the second half, and we have a 17-play touchdown drive that ate up 10.5 minutes of clock. I mean, that was huge for us and got us to within 6 at that time. And I thought it really got us, some positive momentum and got us going there in the second half. But, yeah, I mean, offensively, I thought we made really big strides. Not big enough, but definite improvement from week one. I know we ended up with over 200 yards rushing. Dre had 100 himself, and Cameron Samuel had another 80 or 85. So, I mean, we're starting to get some production up there. Would like to see some bigger plays in the pass game when we get opportunities, but we'll keep working at it and try to be able to hit a couple big shots to go along with our run game.
Talk to me a little bit about your offense and what you're running. There are a lot of run options there, but there's also some passing opportunities, and I know you just mentioned that you wanted to kind of grow in that area. What does that look like for a team that's running a veer type offense?
Well, I mean, for us, so it's triple option. So the first thing is, people talk a lot about quarterback reads and stuff with, RPOs and things. And to me, the triple option puts just as much, if not more pressure on the quarterback because, a majority of our run game is based off of him reading one or two different guys. And that's why, I mentioned earlier, him getting so much better at making those reads and getting the ball in the right hands. That's huge, and it's something defenses don't see a lot. So, I mean, I think it's tough for them to prepare for, and I think the more comfortable, Dre gets there at quarterback and the more comfortable we get as a unit with all our motions and are able to start doing more shifting and things like that, that will help with the diversity. And then, it's also an offense where, I guess conception is that it's just ground and pound, and that's true. But when you do throw it, I mean, it's usually for big chunks. We talk about, he might only complete 5 passes in a game, but those 5 passes could end up being 400 yards and 2 scores because the defense everybody naturally starts getting closer and closer to the line of scrimmage, and then next thing you know, you got a receiver back there behind everybody, and we've had that 2 weeks in a row now. We just have yet to, complete one for whatever reason. Last week it was Dre overthrown some guys who were open, and last night it was, guys were open and had chances to and didn't make the catch. So, it's just getting on the same page there and finding a way, like I said, to cash in those opportunities. And then when we do those, I'll expect a different outcome. And we've lost 2 games, and it's a total of 11 points. So you can easily see on the offensive side, 3 plays in 2 games, and we're 2-0 right now instead of 0-2. So, we just got to keep the guys positive and keep them working and see that we're getting better, and it's all gonna pay off here in the near future.
Mike Woodward joining us as we talk Laverne football this morning. You have to, I guess the triple option. It's obviously more run than pass, but if the only thing you're going to do is run the football, you really take away some of your deceptiveness with the opposing defense. So you have to really kind of mix it up, I guess, is my point.
Yeah, you do, and we got a couple. We hit a couple quick screens that got positive yards for us, and we have guys out there who can do good things with the ball in their hands. Like I said, we're just not hitting them for whatever reason right now. So we just got to figure out maybe some different things to do in practice to make it more game-like or to put a little more stress on them because we'll hit them in practice and then we're not hitting them in the games on Friday when it counts. So. Just like I said, just a couple of those, and those are 14 more points, or big plays to switch field position, those kind of things. But I'm very happy with the way we've been able to control the ball. We didn't turn it over last night, I think you can see that we were wearing them down defensively. So all those things are what we want, but it would be nice to get a few big plays through the pass game also.
You talked about your quarterback, Dre DeMoss. 20 carries, almost 110 yards or so, a couple of touchdowns last night. And Samuel, you mentioned that he had 80 to 85 yards offensively. That second half drive that took 10.5 minutes, Coach, sometimes the best defense is to keep your offense out there and keep the opponent at bay, and you did that. They only had, one drive in the second or third quarter?
Yeah, so I know we kicked off with 1:36 left in the third, and so, as an offensive staff, we were thrilled because number one, we got points coming out of the locker room, which we knew we needed to have. Being down those two possessions, we had to come out and get a score to get momentum back on our side, and then to be able to do it and control the clock like that, that was huge for us. And I got to give credit to one of our seniors, E.J. Robinson, on that drive. He took a little arrow route on play action, and I think broke like 3 tackles and ended up picking up 20 yards for us on a third down. Just a huge play by him where, it was just sheer will on his part, to get us those yards, and that kept the drive going, allowing us to go down and score. So, really proud of him on that crucial drive there.
Coach, talk to me about the defensive effort, what you thought last night, and maybe a bit about week 1 to week 2 for them.
Well, I love the way we run to the football. We've got guys out there who are relentless in their chase and will run. I just would like to see us be, more physical to start. I think we went in thinking we would hold up better against our run game than we did in that first half. And, they came out and pretty much ran it down our throats the first series, and, we just kind of had to get a little wake-up call there. But I thought at halftime, coaches did a good job of getting the guys together, making adjustments, and, getting some big stops for us to keep us in the game. So, again, I'm glad with how that side of the ball played in the second half, and they played winning ball in that second half too. Again, it just comes back to starting with that same kind of fire and energy.
Well, I know the record says 0-2, but you've definitely, got some building blocks that you're working toward, and, keeping that positivity up and continuing to work hard in practice. That's what it takes, and you seem to be a great motivator at that. So hopefully a good week of practice, because you've got another test on the road with Wilson Central coming up on Friday.
Yeah, Wilson Central, another solid team, tough non-region game for us, but we're excited again for the opportunity, and we'll come in. It's a holiday Monday, but not for us. We'll come in Monday morning and get going preparing for them.
So what do you I'm sure you know just a little bit about Wilson Central, and probably working this weekend to get things broken down on the Wildcats, but what do you know about them so far?
Not a whole lot. I'm still kind of working on us right now, but I know up front defensively they got some big physical dudes we're going to have to account for. So we'll really have to look at with our run game, who it is we want to read, who it is we're going to need, to double or take extra guys to account for. So that's really the big thing with what we do. I know they got a shutout last night, so I think they're pretty good on the defensive side. And then offensively, I feel like they've always done, a good job in terms of being diverse and making you defend a bunch of different guys. So, we'll see what they got offensively. But really, if you're just focusing on us, like I said, we just have to figure out a way to play 4 quarters and keep building on what we've done these first 2 weeks.
Well, I heard the Den was a great place to be last night, and game days, Coach, and it takes a lot of help to make that go off, and I know it starts with your administration, but faculty, everybody pitching in to help and do their part last night so you can actually concentrate on the football game. So I know our hat's off to them.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like I said, it was a great environment last night, and we have our traditional, faculty potluck down there in the end zone for our home opener, and it was a huge crowd down there supporting us, and a huge crowd in the stands, and I thought it was a great, presentation of high school football last night. So, hopefully we can match that again the following week when we have our next home game. But, great environment for our kids, and, that's what it's all about. So hopefully we get that environment again and a little more positive outcome.
Coach, appreciate it. Hope you have a great not long weekend for you. I guess every weekend in football season is just like the one before. Lots of work to do, but find some time to have a burger in there somewhere.
Yeah, we'll do our best.
All right, Mike, thank you so much. That's the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines, Mike Woodward, joining us on the Coaches Show, brought to you by the law offices of John Day, providing superior legal representation to injury victims and their families. Find out more at johndaylegal.com.
Pizza.
Murfreesboro's favorite pizza is now hiring at all 3 local locations. That's right. We want you to join the Sir Pizza team. Stop in at our East Main, Veterans Parkway, or Memorial Boulevard locations and let us know how you'd like to join the Sir Pizza family. Also, we've made it even easier to order for carryout or delivery. Just head on over to sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service. From personal tax preparation to business bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes, at Craig's Tax Service, our staff is here to help.
Get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
As a former Siegel Star football player, I know the importance of the high school sports experience. Good luck to all county student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're at Rick's Barbecue talking with Anne-Marie Brents, who says they're ready to feed your entire crew with the family pack.
It's a pound of pork or any of our pulled meats, and then you get 2 16-ounce sides, and then you get a bag of chips, which are plain or barbecue, and then the buns come with it, and then you get one of our drink choices, which is either a 2-liter of one of our sodas or a half-gallon of one of our teas.
And don't forget the famous Rick's Loaded Baked Potato.
That's the biggest potato you can get. They're right at 2 pounds.
Let Rick's Barbecue do the cooking, 212 Warrior Drive.
In Rutherford County, you know how much it means to have neighbors that you can count on. I'm State Farm Agent Ron Reeves, here to help life go right when you combine home and auto insurance. Call me at 615-873-1700. Let me save you money and time.
It's not just your home or car. I'm State Farm Agent Emerson Williams. We see your home and car as the time and memories that you put into it. Give me a call at 615-459-2683 and let me help you give them the protection they deserve.
For 150 years, First National Bank of Middle Tennessee has been dedicated to the students and families in the communities we serve. Hi, I'm Ryan Savage, Assistant Vice President. We understand the challenges of managing your family's finances. At First National Bank, your family is our family. Visit us at our Gateway or Memorial Boulevard offices here in Murfreesboro and always online at fnbmt.com.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com. The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We're back here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Middle Tennessee Electric, serving our community by providing affordable, reliable, and safe electricity. Online at mte.com. We have joining us by phone this morning Oakland coach Kevin Creasy, who wins the award for the longest road trip of the season. Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you along with us, and congrats on the win. If there was an OK Corral down there somewhere, it was the shootout at the OK Corral with yourself and the Coyotes of Anna, Texas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was kind of who got the ball last, and, our guys did a heck of a job of, fighting back and persevering. There was a time where we were down 15 points, and they had the ball and, had to make a stop on defense, and came up with a big stop, and our guys, like I said, couldn't be more proud of the way they fought back down on the road. Unfriendly environment, definitely a huge crowd, tough place to win at, and I think we broke their 13-game win streak.
Well, it's awfully nice to be able to do that. I'm sure they enjoyed having you in to do that last night. You were down 28-13, and you kind of just alluded to that. Was that kind of the turning point for your team last night to get that stop? Because, I mean, they were trying to go up by 3 scores.
Yeah, that's pretty much what was going on in the second half. We played good football, just played a team that was really good, and they were good at every position. There's really no weaknesses on Anna's team, and so we had to play near perfect, and we played really well in the first half, but we played great in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Our guys believed in what we've been preaching all week. There was going to be a 4-quarter game, and that, if we were going to win in a big ball game, we had to win in the fourth quarter. And shoot, man, that's what we did. Our guys, I couldn't be more proud of how tough they were in the fourth quarter. It was hot down here, and we had some guys that came out, cramping and stuff, and went right back in. So real proud of the effort of our guys.
Third quarter was outstanding. You outscored them 16-0 in the third quarter, and outscored them in the second half 39-20. It was kind of a shootout in the fourth quarter, and it became who had the football last. But honestly, you just were able to run the ball down their throat. I was just kind of looking at the stats. 473 yards rushing last night is what I was sent. Out of your 530 yards of total offense was on the ground.
Yeah, couldn't be more proud of our offensive line. They did a heck of a job last night. They were blocking really well, knowing that, one of our best players was out. DeJuan Morris, we might have rushed for 674 yards if DeJuan would have played, but I'm just saying that our offensive line knew we had to step up with some of our other guys playing. Started a sophomore last night at running back too. Just real proud of, next man up mentality. Didn't make any excuses. Would have been easy for us to come down here and, cry about, our best guy, having his ankle injury and just built-in excuses and all that stuff. But our dudes, they believe they could win. They were representing Oakland and the brand that we've had here for 10 years now. Going on the road is tough, but going out of state's even tougher. And, playing a state champion, there's a reason Anna won the state championship last year. A lot of it has to do with the coaching staff and the players. A lot of those players are back. Almost everybody's back on the offense for them, and they've got probably the best quarterback, we've ever played against.
Kevin Creasy joining us this morning, Oakland Patriots head coach. Was that Kamani Bass, that sophomore that played for you?
Yeah, Kamani had a huge reception for us last night. He had some good runs, did a heck of a job for us, weighing in at 127 pounds.
Soaking wet.
Soaking wet.
Last night, I just want to make sure we get some of these offensive stats in, because it's not a normal thing to have two kids that were right around or over the 200-yard rushing mark. And TT last night, Hill had 202 yards and 4 touchdowns, and Tut 194 yards and 2 touchdowns. So they both almost or did touch 200. That's pretty good production.
Yeah, our stat guy has 201 for Tut, 202 for TT, and, they also had some big-time two-point conversions. We wanted to put pressure on their offense. Mm-hmm. Most of the time these guys are just blowing people out of the water, so we wanted to see what happened whenever it got real thick in there. And we went for 2 and took a 1-point lead, and saw how they reacted. They reacted like champions. They fought back and, went back on top of us. And we were 4 for 4 on 2-point conversions, and real proud of Tut and TT. And they made some huge plays. I mean, Tut played almost every snap of defense. turned back around, and TT's returning every kick for us. So they definitely got their money's worth on this trip, touching the ball and getting a lot of action. Tut probably made the play of the game. Kyler Creasy throws a 3rd and 13 ball over the middle to Tut, and he goes over the top of a guy and catches it and brings it down for a huge first down in their territory. We were actually on their 20-yard line, or our own 20-yard line coming out, and we were down at the time. So you just look at a lot of big plays in the ball game. We had a sophomore recover an onside kick at the end of the game. Braxton Griever, big time player, going to be great. Has the guts to go up and catch an onside kick when guys are coming full speed at him. The rule in Tennessee is you can't, hit a guy that's trying to make an attempt on catching a ball, especially on an onside kick. Well, let me tell you, the rule's a little different in Texas. So they're walloping us left and right on these onside kicks. Our guys are standing in there tough. And like I said, they were unsuccessful there at the end of the game trying to recover onside kicks. Like I said, there was a lot of sophomores for us that got real action in a big ball game, and they're seeing what it's all about.
You mentioned the Tut catch, which was just over 20 yards, and Bass had a reception for 36 yards. Didn't have to pass a lot, but Kyler put it where it needed to be, and 2 really huge plays for you in the game with his arm and just the management and poise he's got in the pocket. That can be tough on the road, but looks like he was tough as nails last night for you.
Yeah. I was proud of a lot of our guys. I thought there was some big plays that had to be made. 4th down and 2, Kyler runs the ball. We don't call his number to run it much, but he ran it on 4th and 2 and got a huge first down for us early in the game to keep a drive alive. So, yeah, it was a few things we had to do last night that, we had to break some tendencies on. And like I said, we had a bunch of different guys step up and make huge plays. Chase Mandy had an interception that helped change the game for us. We stripped the ball and caused a fumble. Those guys, they had a great offense, but, we were opportunistic by creating turnovers and changing the whole momentum of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And, I got to give credit to our fans, too. We had a great fan support last night, and they were making a lot of noise and supported us, 10.5-hour drive away, and couldn't be more proud of Oakland and how they supported us.
You mentioned Bandy's interception. Kyrie Gaynor also had one for you last night, and Caleb Ellison is Caleb Ellison, 10 tackles, 2 pass breakups. He's just a beast out there, so you had to have all of that last night down in Texas. I wanted to ask you before our time gets away, Coach. This is a long road trip. I know you got down there a day early. Kind of talk to us a little bit about the trip altogether and, maybe the first chance for these guys to do something like this.
Yeah, like I said, we still on a bus right now. It's pretty cool to be on these long road trips. Our first stop was a Pilot gas station. I bet we spent $3,000 at the gas station before we got out of there, and we were just in West Memphis, Arkansas at the time. So most kids got all their money spent before they ever got out of the state of Arkansas, but that was all right. We took care of them the rest of the time, fed them real well. Actually, we're headed to Benton, Arkansas to get something to eat right now. But at the end of the day, like I said, most of our people were proud of, the efforts of our kids. We like to say business trip and all that stuff, but I can say probably 95% of our players probably never been to the state of Texas, and they're leaving here with a great feeling, a great memory, and, a heck of a contest. Shout out real quick, Coach Melvin Daniels' son, along with 4 other, we met 5 total people that were from Rutherford County that now reside in Texas that came over to watch Oakland football. And,
wow.
And Coach Daniels' son said it was reminiscent of some of those 80s teams that his dad helped coach, running downhill. off tackle and being tough and being able to stop the run on defense. It was pretty awesome how some of those guys that moved off from Rutherford County and still in Texas, and they still made the trip to come represent the O, and real proud of that.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. Their facilities, how do they stack up?
Oh, it's their press box is unbelievable. They've got a jumbotron that makes ours look like an old 1990s big screen TV. End of the day, their indoor facility is top notch. I mean, they've spent over $1 million on it. They're getting a $10 million grant to build a new home side of their stadium and new press box, that I think is just fine the way it is. But at the end of the day, 10 miles down the road at Allen, they've spent $60 million on a stadium. McKinney, I think, spent $30 million on their stadium. So, yeah, our guys got to see, how much football means to these communities in Texas.
Yeah, it's things are different in Texas from what everything I've heard. Next week,
not bad.
Yeah, next week you get to play in the friendly confines at Ray Hughes Stadium next Friday night with Haywood coming in. Do you know much about Haywood?
Yeah, I know they went to the 4th round of the playoffs last year, and they've got a heck of a running back and a receiver that's got about 10 D1 offers. So, real talented team out of West Tennessee, and I know their coach used to be at Chevable. So we know about him and how well, he's done over the years. He's won a state championship at Lake County. So, yeah, we're real familiar with them. Most people around here probably aren't, but they're a really good team, coming in, at a perfect time. We're 2-0 and coming off some big wins. Next thing you know, we can't be there, right for the picking. We got to be ready to play this Friday. Get this behind us, this win behind us, and get ready for a quality opponent. In our first home game, hopefully we'll have our stands packed like Anna had their stands packed last night.
Coach, safe travels on the rest of the way here back to the borough, and congrats on the win last night.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, that is Oakland coach Kevin Creasy joining us here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Carpets by Osborne, who'd love to help you complete any job, whether residential or commercial, carpet, tile, hardwood, vinyl, rugs, and more. Locally owned, that's Carpets by Osborne with a Z.com.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
You've probably heard it a million times. If you're injured, call a lawyer. And you probably haven't because you don't know how much it will cost, how long it will take, or even if you have a case. At the law offices of John Day, we provide a free initial consultation because we understand that folks don't want to pay a lawyer only to find out they don't have a case. If you think we can help, we do so on a contingency basis, which means we only get paid if you do. Seriously injured? Call me, John Day.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
Whether you have a quarter acre or several, Las Casas Feed Supply has premium feeds and dog foods you can't find in box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
Plus, every Saturday morning they have a local producer-only farmers market with fresh vegetables, beef, pork, and more.
Customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We're back on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Rick's Barbecue, serving up the best smoked barbecue, ribs, and many local favorites. Wings now, too, on Warrior Drive, locally operated by Anne-Marie Brent and the Lanning family. It is time to talk some Stewart's Creek football this morning. Ben Caudill joins us here in the studio. And, Coach, really, when you get together and play Rutherford County teams, even though it wasn't a region opponent, it still feels like it even early on. And so I'm glad we're able to get these matchups even if we're not in region play.
Yeah, it's been great to kind of renew the series with Blackman. You know, when I got to Stewart's Creek, this was a game that wasn't being played, and we've played them the last 4 years and split them evenly, and every single game has been kind of like it was last night, all within about a possession or two.
Yeah.
And so certainly was a great, exciting game that unfortunately didn't go our way.
42-35 Blackman in last night's game. You won last year 28-21. So, I mean, these have been close games, fun games, and seeing a lot of great plays in those games. Last night, kind of walk us through what you thought. We talked about this during the broadcast. It seemed like when a team got momentum, you had momentum at times. Blackman had momentum. It was a huge swing. It wasn't just like a small bit of momentum.
Yeah, well, the first half it couldn't have gone any better for us. We got a big turnover there on the first third down of the game and went down and scored. They cut it to 10-7 with about 6 minutes left, and we held the ball pretty much the rest of the first half and scored, and then got the ball back to start the third quarter. And really outside of the first 6 minutes of the third quarter, I thought we really had total command of that game. We had total command, all the momentum at halftime, it's amazing how a game can really swing on one on one play, on one punt. And I've coached our punt team for the last 5 years, and so that's the only finger that needs to be pointed on that is on me. We had a starter that's was cramping on that play, and sure enough, that's exactly where they go. So we've got to address those things. We've got to address our hydration better in those moments, that was certainly I felt like the turning point of the game, it's something that as our head coach, I'm going to make sure it gets fixed.
They had 3 opportunities with short fields last night, and they took advantage of them, didn't they?
They did, and we've made a big emphasis, all season, and this is true especially in a road game. You've got to be competing against the other opponent. You can't be competing against yourself, and unfortunately that was one there in the third quarter, and then the other is I was talking to Jerry late last night in our coach's office. We had a slow screen, we were talking just about how a lot of quarterbacks will just throw it right at the running back's feet if it's not there. And Jerry's a competitor, and he tried to make something happen and kind of lost the ball there, and they ended up having the ball inside the 10-yard line. And so that's just a competitor trying to make a play. It's a very teachable moment, and outside of that play, I thought Jerry played a phenomenal football game, and certainly gave us every opportunity to come out on the other side.
To me, I think he showed a lot of guts coming back out and playing as hard as he did after that happened, because a lot of times you can hang your head and woe is me, but he didn't do that.
Yeah, when the heat, when the heat comes on a Friday night on the road against a really good opponent in Blackman, and I tell you, Blackman physically dominated Brentwood High School for 3 quarters, and that's to me, it's the most complete Blackman team since 2014. I think they've perhaps in the last few years been a little more dynamic on offense, but all things considered, all 22 positions, they got a Division I player at every level of their defense, and they've got a big-time player on offense. We wanted to take him out of the game, and unfortunately we held him to 1 catch, but that 1 catch went, for a big play touchdown right after, one of our players got injured. So that was a great, time for them to call that play. And we sustained an injury Wednesday morning in practice, with, our best corner who was going to follow him around all night. And it's not going to be anything season threatening, but it was one in a non-region game. We didn't feel good about, rolling him out there. But, being able to hold our own and have every opportunity to, come out, feeling a lot better last night against a really, really, really good opponent on the road. I'm really proud of the way our guys fought and made it a ball game.
We're talking to Ben Caudill, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek Redhawks. A few stats for some of the players last night, offensive stars. And we've been talking about Jerry Taylor, 10 of 16, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Last night he also rushed for 60 yards and a couple of TDs. So he definitely had a blue star night.
Yeah, Jerry played really well, throwing it and running it. There were a few plays, where we were misaligned, and as the quarterback, we've got to fix those things, and that happened on 3 or 4 snaps where we didn't have a receiver lined up where he needs to be, and we talked about the one, moment that, we talked about last night in our coach's office, and, really appreciate his leadership and desire to, take command of our offense. And he certainly did some things last night that gave us a chance.
Caleb Floyd also last night had 44 yards rushing on 13 carries, but 3 catches for 140 yards. So he came up at big times for you.
Yeah, Caleb, man, each of his catches was, on 2 of them especially, he really had to, make a great catch, and coming out of the backfield, he's a true all-purpose back. Second play of the game, he's got a tackle for loss. He's a heavy contributor on special teams, and I really can't say enough about the job he's done offensively and in all 3 phases. The first 2 games of the season.
Coach, on the defensive side of the ball, kind of talk to me about your overall thoughts defensively against Blackman.
Yeah, we're really proud of, Taj Roseburr. He had another pick last night, so 2 games, 2 picks, and he also had a fumble recovery. So he certainly got a nose for the ball, and that's something that, you want to have a game changer on that side of the ball that's kind of got a nose for where things, kind of end up. And so I was very encouraged by, how he played. There were several other guys I thought that, are kind of starting to come into their own defensively. Unfortunately, I think as the game started to shift, our momentum, hurt us on that side a little bit more. That's where you got to give credit, to, a good Blackman team, and we didn't make them do the things from an offensive standpoint that we wanted to make them do. And Grant Gardner, who played for Rockville last year and, had a good game rushing against us last year for Rockville. He had a good night for him at Blackman this year. We've got to do a better job of making the offense do the things that they don't want to do and that they're trying to hide. And last night, we weren't able to do that.
The game of football, and especially – in last night's game, I mean, it really does come down to a few things that either go your way or they don't. I mean, just look at the score, 42-35.
Yeah, well, when you're on the road, especially in Rutherford County, you just can't make, costly mistakes. We scored a touchdown and then had 2 personal fouls, for celebrating, after the play. So we're kicking off from our 10-yard line. And, we just made 1 too many mistakes, and against Tullahoma, they made 1 more mistake than we did. And so it's really not complicated when you're on the road. I thought we played 3.5 really good quarters of football, and we played 1, half of a quarter. The first few minutes of the 3rd quarter, it was really bad, and so those are the things we got to fix. And that's why, Brian, you play tough non-region opponents, is you learn those lessons, and the sooner you learn them, the better.
Well, this is what makes going through the region and that tough, brutal schedule, because it means a lot more, those games, because you're talking about playoffs or not. So, it's good to be battle-tested in those situations. Talk to me a little bit about from week 1 to week 2. It's kind of always been the case that most teams see a lot of growth between those 2 weeks, especially practice. You've got some game film to look at. How do you think your team grew up last night?
Well, I thought we handled the week really well. I thought we handled, a week of early practices, better than we ever have. We changed some things up. I think that
because
really
of the heat, I guess, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We changed some things up. I think that really helped us. I think we're starting to have some leaders emerge, and quite candidly, there's some guys that we thought were going to be, leading that aren't for several reasons, and there are others that we thought might be a little bit more of a lead by example guy that are starting to really emerge, and so we got to continue to tap into that and make sure that our leadership is stepping up at this time of the season.
Well, get to host Hillsboro. Have you had a chance to find out anything about the Burros?
Very briefly, got to film a little bit late this morning, and played them last year there. Anthony Brown was Coach Fitzgerald's kind of hand-picked replacement. And so, definitely had a great game with them last year. They're coming to us this year. I've only watched just a few plays of, their first game against McGavick. And so looking forward to turning the page and getting to work, starting on Monday. And I know our players are going to be excited to get back at it.
I do want to give a shout out to Wesley Cunningham sending in stats. It's really good to have that, so we can I know it's called the Coach's Corner, but we want to mention as many kids as possible on this, and it certainly helps to be able to have stats, and I know he's doing a pretty good job for you there.
Yeah, he takes pride in that role, and one of the older brothers of our one of the players on our team, Ben Cunningham's older brother, and you got to love these college guys. Sometimes when you give them a meal at halftime and get on the pass list and preferred parking, they can execute for you. So we take pride in making sure guys like you and John are prepared for things like this, and just appreciate all the support staff that we have.
Sure.
All our coaches, our administration, and the band, everybody that just makes things cheerleading really special for us, whether we're home or away. Our support last night was phenomenal. Not an open seat on the visitor side, and that's what makes the Stewart's Creek community a special one.
Ben, appreciate it, and good luck against Hillsboro next week.
Thank you very much. Go Red Hawks.
That's Ben Caudill joining us, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek Red Hawks this morning on the Coaches Show, brought to you by First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. If you're looking for a hometown feel with your bank, turn to First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, offering full-service banking and mortgage services.
With all the financial wondering if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. If you have more questions than answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. Stop by our office in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard or give us a call at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Insurance should be simple, not complicated. That's why at Rayburn Insurance, Agent Rick Hull cuts through the jargon and helps you understand your options clearly. He's committed to finding the right coverage that fits your unique needs and budget. Their team has been a trusted partner in the community since 1973. Ready to make insurance easy? Get with Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency. He's ready to help you get the protection you deserve.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom designed jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We are back on the Coaches Show, which is brought to you by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA, the largest and most comprehensive orthopedic surgery group in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at TOA.com. Time to talk Rockvale football this morning. Brian Guthrie joins us live from a beach somewhere, right?
That's right. Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, there's no vacationing in football season, is there?
No, not really. It's pretty much 24/7.
And for you guys, doing all the facilities upgrades and things that you did this summer, plus summer's pretty much over after the dead period for football coaches. I bet it was a long, laborious summer for you.
Yeah, I feel like my new residence is 6545 Highway 99.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start having my mail sent there.
I guess so.
Yeah, it's been long and it's been worth it. Everything's been worth it, and we're doing things to make our place better for our kids and our community, and so it's been great.
Well, being at home, it takes a lot of game day preparation and just people pitching in, and you've got to have those people so you can concentrate on the game stuff too, right?
Yeah, man, it's unbelievable. Mr. Crutchfield and our admin and they get people to help out, and I mean it takes a village. I mean, there's so many people that help out, do different things that I don't have to worry about, and they take care of it. And our basketball coach Wendell Ingram, and our baseball coach Shay Deal, and our wrestling coach Corey Deal, and just a bunch of others. They pitch in and they work the entire night, and they show up about 5:30 and start working, and they're there till the lights go out that night. So I'm real appreciative of all those guys that help do all that stuff that where we can just coach football.
Yeah, I think Wendell and Shay just like driving around on the Gator and stuff, going places.
They do, but I mean, they take care of a lot of things. They take care of officials and running around, and we couldn't do it without those guys. So real glad to have those guys. I mean, everybody at Rockvale's, we're a community, and everybody pitches in and helps each other out, and it's a neat place to be.
Yeah. And just the people during the week and the fans and the support, and you've got just community people that really have no ties to kids there other than it's Rockvale and it's their community, and they're coming out to support. So I mean, it's really a unique situation that maybe isn't duplicated anywhere or just a few places in Rutherford County.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said this. I think it's a special place, and we still have the small town feel, even though we've got over 2,000 kids in our building. It's still a small town feel, and we'd like to keep it that way. But it's growing, and there's you can't stop progression, and but we like to keep it. We'd like to keep it small town as much as we can, but yeah, the people at Rockvale are great.
Good stuff last night on the football field for you too, taking on an always tough Smyrna team. It just seems like they always come in ready to punch somebody in the mouth, and they do it frequently. But last night, final score was 31-14, Rockvale over Smyrna. A really good night for your Rockets.
Yeah, I told our kids, I said, if we do two things, we'll win the football game, and that's because I know Smyrna is always physical. Matt always has a good physical football team, and that's the way, that's kind of the way he is, so I told our kids that if we can match their physicality and play more discipline than we did last week, that we'll win the football game, and I think we did those two things.
Well, kind of. Let's take it half by half. First half, second half, you obviously made some adjustments in that second half that proved fruitful. What are a couple of plays that kind of stand out in your mind?
Well, we just there were some things in the secondary that we felt like we could take advantage of, and so we were able to do those. And but I think the biggest thing defensively for us was we made some we made some personnel moves this week. We took Cavante Porter. We had been playing him at safety, and we put him back at outside linebacker where he's more comfortable and able to make plays. And he had a big night for us. He had 2 touchdowns. One of them was on offense. The other one was a scoop and score on defense. And and then we put Riley Talley in his spot at rover or strong safety, and he played really well. And we just moved a few people around, and I think it worked out for us. And our defense flew to the ball, and we got a lot of hats to the football, which was good to see. And we just swarmed around on defense, and so and we execute a little bit better on offense. We're still not near where we need to be, but Javion still, our quarterback, still would like him to make some better reads as far as in the RPO game. But for the most part, he played well. And we had 2 running backs that both, we felt like carried the ball well for us last night. Dakel Kennedy and a sophomore, Romeo George. I think Romeo's going to be really, really good. They don't have big stats, but they both ran the ball hard and well. And, we just tried to spread it around as much as we could, and it worked out for us.
Kind of had you're kind of taking it running back by committee there, and it seems to be working pretty good for you.
Yeah, we are. And then we got, we also, I think we played a third one. I think Anton Reynolds carried the ball a little bit. Mm-hmm. Rylan Hodges is kind of banged up, so we didn't play him much at tailback, and because he was kind of banged up this week. So hopefully get him back, full and healthy next week. It is running back by committee right now, but I kind of like it because we can always get fresh legs in there, and there's not much drop off.
You mentioned Javion stats that I saw for him: 7 of 18, 78 yards, a touchdown, and added 16 yards rushing as well as at quarterback. Jalen Morgan, 25 yards receiving, a touchdown. Also added an interception there. And on the defensive side, the moves that you made, especially for Cavante, must have turned out really well. He had 2 fumble recoveries for you and returned a touchdown for 18 yards. So when you can score on defense, that's really something big that I don't know. It always seems to ignite the offense too when you get a defensive score.
Yeah, it's huge. We'll always take defensive scores because you're not really supposed to get those. So,
yeah.
Anytime we get defensive scores, it's good for us. Now, we had a lot of missed opportunities too on offense. There were times we had people running open and we just missed them, missed a throw, or we dropped a ball when we shouldn't have. And, they had missed opportunities too. They had the same situation. So it wasn't a real clean game on either side of the ball, but, I felt better about we played a lot cleaner than we did the first week.
That was kind of going to be my next question. I've been talking to the coaches this morning about, from game 1 to game 2, if you look back over the season, that's where you see a lot of your growth and fix some things. Obviously, you talked about that a little bit on the defensive side, moving folks around. Do you feel pretty pleased with the growth from week 1 to week 2 from your team?
I do. I do. Obviously, like I said, we still got lots of things to fix, and we've got to get better if we want to get to where we want to be. But we did play much better and cleaner, and but there's still some game type situations that we're not very good at. We let the clock run down on us a couple of times, and the play clock, and there's just some game type situations that we didn't handle very well that we've got to fix this week. And but overall, yeah, I'm pleased with the way we played and the way we came or improved since first week.
Well, on the road next week at Tullahoma, and that's kind of a different animal there in Tullahoma, isn't it?
It is. Coach Sisk and those guys, they're 0-2, but they're not a bad football team by any means. They're a good football team, and you know, we're going to have to play well, especially going down there. And you know, we can't look and say they're 0-2. We're going to walk over them, because we can't do that to anybody. So, you know, I know they're going to be prepared, and I know they're going to be well coached, and they always are. And so, you know, we got to go down there to be a good test, and we'll just, you know, we'll try to clean things up a little bit more, and hopefully play a little better.
You know, it's a pretty interesting place to play. They've got really good facilities down there in Tullahoma, I think.
They got pretty good facilities. I mean, they got they got a nice field house and all that stuff. So it'll be a neat place to play.
Yeah, and always good to check out those mid-state opponents and such. Labor Day is Monday. Do you handle things any differently this week with practice and such?
Yeah. Well, no, because we're supposed to have a JV and freshman game that night, so we decided we wouldn't. We're going to give coaches off on Sunday, and they're going to have they're not going to come in and meet on Sunday. We're going to come in Monday morning and meet, and then we'll bring them in at 2:00, watch film, and then we'll practice pretty much normal time, and then go play our games that night.
Sounds good. Brian, appreciate it. Congrats on the win over the Bulldogs last night, and good luck at Tullahoma next Friday.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Brian Guthrie joining us, head coach of the Rockville Rockets on the Coaches Show, brought to you in part by JHA Company, Josh Houston and Associates. Jewelry, letter jackets, yearbooks, graduation products, and much more online at jhacompany.com.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service. We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service reminds you that it makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We've been serving Rutherford County since 1988.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're just off Memorial Boulevard at 142 Heritage Park Drive.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. With over 2 decades of experience, our ASC certified master technicians are experts in both foreign and domestic vehicles, ensuring accurate diagnosis and timely, cost-effective repairs. From oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly, mile after mile. Visit our website, smyrnaautorepair.com.
At Little Caesars, get a large custom 2-topping pizza for only $7.99 when you order online. Wait, did I just say $7.99? Get out of here! This pizza is only $7.99. No way! This is $7.99? You're joshing me. You're saying this pizza perfection is only $7.99? Well, you're crazy for this. Listen, pirate, stop taking my $7.99 pizza. Choose a large custom 2-topping pizza for the unbelievable price of $7.99 when you order online. Only $7.99. What?
Pizza.
You've seen the ads out there, companies wanting to buy your home. But why sell yourself short when you can get fair market value? I'm Lisa Patton. If you have an estate to settle or a home to sell, call Parks Auction. We'll work with you to sell your home or property in any condition with no costly repairs on your timeline. Why accept one offer when you can have multiple? You need Parks Auction. We look out for your best interest. Call Parks Auction today. We handle everything.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And we welcome back here to the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. This portion of the show brought to you by Sir Pizza, whose 3 Murfreesboro locations offer a huge selection of mouth-watering pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and wings. Order your favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com. John Ding is back with you, and we have Coach Adam Renshaw with us this morning. Winners in a hard-fought game last night with the Pesky Laverne team by a score of 28-22. And, Coach, I know it's good to get that first win of the year under the belt.
Yes, sir. Really impressed with Laverne. Offensively, I think they're getting better every week. Coach Woodward
doing a great job with those kids. And yeah, we were really happy to get out of there with a win last night.
It's a tough place to play, honestly. We've done some games from there, and you get in there, and it's that makes them probably another touchdown favorite, I think, with them out there.
Yeah, and I think they play us really tough. Again, we watched them on film. We can see them getting better every week, and we knew they were, we were glad to get up on them there at the beginning, and man, they had a dogfight there to win it in the end.
Tough night against Shelbyville. Defensively, that kid that ran, boy, he's a runner now. He's a bruiser.
Yeah.
What adjustments did you make? Because, I think they run Laverne triple option. So there's a lot of different things going on there.
Yeah, well, a lot of responsibility football right there, and Coach Woodward's doing a really good job with his scheme. They run midline and veer, and so, you'd like to say, hey, this kid's got the dive, this kid's got the pitch, but, when they change up their schemes a little bit, your kids have to be able to adjust. And so I thought we did a pretty good job of that last night. There was times in the ball game where we struggled a little bit on the midline, but man, that last series, our defense came through in a big time way.
When you look at this game last night, Laverne, they've got some weapons now. There's no doubt about it. But you were able to kind of keep the lead the entire game. How important was that? Because Laverne kept coming back, but you kept putting points on the board.
Oh, well, the biggest play of the night, I think, was a punt.
Mm-hmm.
Initially there, we drive the ball after the opening kickoff to their 30-yard line. And, I think a lot of times we go for it when we're in that area, but we've been working on the coffin corner kick. Our punter did a great job. A.B. Tapia, he went out there, pinned them on the 1-yard line right there. They couldn't get a first down, and then they mishandled their punt snap, and we got an easy touchdown. And so really that's the difference in the ball game, and punt team was huge last night.
Isn't it funny, Coach, that special teams play such a big role in football? And a lot of times fans and to the naked eye, we're sitting there going, we look at the quarterback, we look at the running backs and the wide receivers, the fancy things, but it's really that doggone getting the dirt, special teams, and
100%.
On the line.
We tell our kids punt is the most important play in football. And, Coach Rick Mallory coaches our special teams, and he has done a fantastic job. And our kids are flying around with their hair on fire. And again, you look, we played well on special teams the previous week. It kept us in the ball.
Uh-huh.
This week, it probably won us the ball game.
That's a really good thing to point out, that if your special teams can play like that, it gives time for your offense to catch up, defensively catch up. I mean, there's
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And honestly, that's the place our football team is in right now. We know we're growing, and our goal offensively this week was to just get better. We knew we had some missed assignments and weren't firing on all cylinders last week, so we concentrated on just a few simple things, and it paid off for us last night offensively.
I want to talk about a couple of those, and tell me if I'm pronouncing this right. Is it Albee or Albia?
Albia.
Albia. Yeah, I thought that was right. That's the way I said it last week, but I wasn't for sure. Braylon Albia, 15 carries, 124 yards, 2 touchdowns, which indicates to me that the blocking up front was much better, and you were a little more consistent on offense running the football.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And, we challenged Braylon this week to run like a big back. He's supposed to be our Thunder and the Thunder and Lightning kind of duo we got back there. And, man, he had some tremendous physical runs, and he had a big night, and it was crucial to us winning the football game.
1-2 punch. Corey Jennifer had 104 yards rushing on 10 carries, which is not a lot of carries for a game.
Yeah.
But boy, he made them. That's 10 yards a carry just about.
Yeah, 100%. Last night, basically the last regular play of the football game, we felt like we could pop a run outside and get it to him, and he could basically close the football game out. And we gave it to him. He gets outside. He busts it for, I think, 25-yard run, ends the football game, and on the tackle, he breaks his collarbone. And so really, really tough scenario. A great kid who's been working so hard for us and made so many improvements football-wise. He's a good student, and man, we just hate to see that happen,
Injuries are always a part of it. You hate to see them, particularly early in the season when they're just kind of getting cranked up and getting started. But as we know, you have to move on and go on. Talk about your defense a little bit. I know they were kind of beaten up a little bit game one, but a nice rebound last night.
Oh, yeah, 100%. We had it was really good for us to play an option team this week because we got to get to responsibility football. Look, your job is to close this gap and tackle whatever shows up. Linebacker, your job is scrape over the top, get the quarterback, there wasn't any time for, worry or anything like that. We just went back to work on our responsibilities, and we got to preach to the kids all week long, do your job. And last night, I think they did their job in a lot of instances, but when they didn't, it showed up. So, again, we've got great film to get better from, and that's still us. Offensively and defensively, this is a team that's going to have to get better every week.
We're talking to Adam Renshaw, the head coach of the Siegel Stars. Winners of last night, 28-22. Big win, 1-1. And I like the way you rebounded from the first game. And, even when we go back to look at the first game, Coach, you were in that game. I mean, you had opportunities. Now you go, and it's going to be going to travel to Smyrna. We'll have that game on the radio, but Smyrna's different. They're kind of growing, particularly offensively. I don't know that they know their identity yet, but boy, defensively, and you know what they're going to bring, and playing there has always been tough for teams.
Yeah, no doubt. And I got to watch their Riverdale game, and they got some players. They're well coached. I haven't got to see any film on them from this past week yet. But, no, we know they're a good football team. We know Coach Williams is always going to have those boys ready.
A lot of things have been going on. I want to go a little I get away from football a little bit. The stadium, the turf looks great. Crowds are up. That's got to be satisfying to not only you, but your coaching staff and your kids that play for you to see those kind of crowds and the energy and the excitement that's kind of been brought back in the last 2 or 3 years at Siegel.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'd put it like this: we talk a lot, and man, our turf is awesome. Mm-hmm. Our facilities are awesome. We have great things going on at Siegel, but at the end of the day, it's about them boys, and it's about them developing a culture where they're doing things right, and they care about one another. And so at the end of the day, the Siegel High football team is it's in the hearts that's beating in them boys' chest. And it's not me, it's not them assistant coaches, it's not that turf field, it's not the school, it's them boys that are out there working hard every day. And we're just lucky. We got great kids, we got great parents, and I do feel like we've gotten better every week this year. And we just got to continue to do that. I coach with what I feel like is the best coaching staff I've ever been around. We've got great guys that care about the kids. They challenge them, they love them, and like I said, I'm just lucky to be a part of all that.
And you really throw yourself into it too. I mean, you do pep rallies, those kind of things. You're a very visible guy, and I know at one point attendance was down a little bit when you came there, and also the number of players you had playing. You've built that up, and I know you got to be proud of that. I don't want to brag on you too much, but I mean, there's a feeling there that I haven't seen in a while. And they had Coach Wine had a team that about made it to the big game, and but it really seems to be kind of coming back at Siegel, and it's good to see.
Yeah, well, we're at the end of the day, it's education-based athletics. I mean, we're trying to develop them into quality men. And, that's our mission statement. And so I would say, being a part of pep rallies and homecoming and all that kind of stuff, these kids they got a short window in their life to do this stuff. And it's a game. And so they need to have fun. Coaches, we also need to have fun. And so, I think that's kind of the vision for our program, to make something that everybody wants to be a part of.
And most coaches they don't dread homecoming week, but it is part of it.
But saying I love it.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what I thought you'd say.
Siegel does homecoming really well, though.
Tell me somebody, and final question here, but tell me somebody that has, from the beginning of spring training to now, that has shown more improvement in the last, particularly from the first game to this second game.
I mean, I know this is kind of a cop-out.
And I know there's more than one, so go ahead.
But our offensive line, we challenged them this past week, and those 5 kids really came through for us last night. And our running backs had a great night, but, man, they had some holes to run in. And so, we're playing a sophomore at left tackle, Princeton Uefo. We got, Bryson Vaughn at a left guard. We got a senior that's been playing for 3 years, Josh Miller at center. We got Caleb Payne at right guard, who had a great night from what I can tell. I still finished watching it. And Noah Wright, our right tackle. Those 5 kids, and they've still got a lot of work to do. But, they're the heroes of the football team in my mind right now.
They did a great job. You get over 200 yards rushing. Anytime you can get 200 yards rushing or more, you've done a pretty good job on the offensive line. And really, that's, I think, something that they needed to improve from the first game, honestly. Yeah.
100%. They were disappointed. Yeah. Coach Turnbow was disappointed. That's not his standard. And then, man, they really did. They had it. They really did. We practiced at 6 a.m. all week last week. And so those offensive linemen were getting out of bed, angry, getting after one another. And so, yeah, it was a good week.
Oh, 6 a.m. Wow. Coach, good luck against Smyrna next week. I know that's a big game for you guys. Still a non-district game, actually, but an important one regionally. So good luck in traveling to Smyrna. And they got a nice place to play, too.
Oh, yeah. We're all getting nice places.
And it really has. It seemed like kind of overnight, the last 3 years, there's clubhouses, there's turf. I mean, it's been amazing.
Yeah, well, I tell you, we got a lot of, I think something that's the unsung heroes in all of that are the parents, the community members that are coming through for these programs. And I could talk all day about the people that's helped us, but I think the Rutherford County community is coming out to support their kids in not just football, but all their athletic programs, and it's really special.
Yeah. And I would like to say a nice word for the bands. You've got a great band. There's a lot of great bands across the county. You've got one of them, and they show up. And a lot of people don't know what kind of work they put in, but they do. They put in a lot of work. Sometimes maybe be a 6 a.m. one. I don't know.
Well, the one that's impressive is at 1 p.m. in August. In the middle of that black parking lot, and those kids working their tail off.
Yeah.
I make fun of the football kids saying, y'all aren't doing that. Y'all are, look at that.
Coach, it's always good to talk to you, and good luck next week.
Yes, sir. Thank
All right. That's Adam Renshaw, the head coach of the Siegel Stars. And this portion of the show is brought to you by Bowen's Body Shop from Dings and Dents. You know about Dings and Dents, don't you, Coach?
Quite a bit.
Yeah. To full body work, trust Jeff and Cal Bowen to do the job right. They're located on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. When we come back, we'll be talking to Eagleville here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner. If you need concrete work done, who would I call? Dan France Concrete. Here's why. He's local. He attended Walter Hill Elementary, Oakland, and MTSU. He served our community as a school resource officer for 9 years, and he's involved in the community.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Dan France Concrete is a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. Check out danfranceconcrete.com online to see some of their work.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
I want expert advice on going 100% solar.
I want to go green without breaking the bank.
I want to meet my sustainability goals.
I want solar to be simple.
Done, 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 done.
I want to save the planet.
Little hero, let's start with one of MTE's solar programs first. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And this portion of the Coach's Corner brought to you by J. Mullins Jewelry, a family-owned and operated business treating clients like family since 1938. Jewelry design, repair, and a wide selection of great jewelry pieces. Online at mullinsjewelry.com. John Dinkins here with you this morning, and we are so glad to have Floyd Walker, the head coach of the Eagleville Eagles, and a big winner last night, 62-6 over Community. And I know that had to be somewhat of a relief, Coach, after the first game being so close, and to have one, let's face it, breathe a little sigh of relief, in the second half at least. Or do you ever breathe a sigh of relief?
Well, first of all, let's address the heat policy that's going on in your building today. All right, I don't know whether we're on the yellow, red, or whatever the wet bulb is right now.
We're having to stop every 20 minutes to get water.
You practice for an hour. I got to have full breaks. Okay. It was a good night for us. It's nothing like seeing a smile on your kid's face after a win. So we're really excited that the kids were able to get that for themselves. I thought our kids really came out and tried to establish themselves early on, and I really thought that they had just an absolute blast playing with one another last night.
It's a very unusual, but it's a road trip that is not bad. I mean, it's very good. I mean,
it's great. It's one of those situations where it's really easy for not only us football wise and our football team to get there, but it's really easy for our student body, for parents, for grandparents, any fan or citizen that's an Eagleville fan. It's really easy for them to get there. And I made a comment to one of our assistant coaches last night. Our band was there too, and there's no disrespect for our band, but it's almost one of those deals to where you're like, hey, we need to find a place for the band so our fans can have a seat as well, because we were lined up all around the fence last night, and we're really thankful that we live in and work in a community that comes out and gives that type of support for our kids and our program.
I bet visiting teams love to see you come for money financially. I'll see you guys invade a place, because you do.
Oh yeah, it's great, and I don't, I'm never asked anybody, how are their gates. I didn't ask PCA how their gate was. I didn't ask Coach Grooms in the community how their gate was last night. But I have to assume that they really do well financially whenever we roll into town.
62-6. You had some players. I'm going to talk about Span first.
Mm-hmm.
Block punt and recovered it for a touchdown. That's huge in any game.
It is. I mean, and you love it for a kid like Marshall who comes to work every day. Plays full speed at practice, plays full speed, punts. He's pretty much on every special team that we have, and to see him break free, block a punt, scoop and score, you just excited for moments like that. That's something that he can talk to the rest of the team about and kind of cut up and bug about and tell some people that he's got more touchdowns than they do already. So it's great for those things to happen. But we had a lot of people also that got in the end zone last night in multiple different forms. So we're very excited about that and thankful for it.
I know you struggled a little bit in the first game on offense. Was it good to see that rebound? Because you had to replace some people on offense, some really talented players, pretty in the backfield particularly. Was it Caleb Snisser, 92 yards, 5 carries? That had to be pleasant to see.
It was pleasant to see. Not that Caleb got those yards and those touchdowns, but it was pleasant to see the 5 offensive linemen, the tight end, and our H-backs, the job that they did up front. I mean, from an assignment standpoint, from an execution standpoint, and effort standpoint, I thought our 5 linemen, H-backs, and tight ends did a tremendous job last night as far as just knowing their assignment, executing their assignment, and playing with great effort last night. So Caleb had a super night, but if you go back and watch it, I think Caleb will walk in here and tell you that he thinks those guys did a tremendous job as well.
And to me, Floyd, that always seems to be a trademark of Eagleville. And I mention this all the time, and we're going to talk about another trademark that I see, but they play as a team. I guess probably as good as anybody I've seen, and they don't get the big head. They don't like one individual stands out. It's just not the way you won't run the program like that.
No, we won't do that, and that's why we will never put our names on the back of our jerseys. We're always going to keep Eagleville on the front of it because that's what it's all about. But when you watch a kid score and you turn on the film and you see, 9, 10 other people running toward the end zone to celebrate with that kid, because it is a team accomplishment. We've always said it before that football is probably the ultimate team sport, where it takes 11 people to execute one play and for that one play to have success. So we try to preach that. We try to live by that, and hopefully our kids buy into that as they go through this program.
Another person I want to mention, Noah Lilly, had a 23-yard TD reception. Again, it's kind of seeing new faces and people contributing. Big plays really abounded in this game last night.
I mean, we went into the ball game and we said if we have to throw the ball more than 5 times, that we were going to be upset about it, and that's the way we kind of practice it. And we got to a situation where it was 3rd down and 12 or somewhere in that neighborhood. And we were basically just going to try to throw the ball, see if he could go one-on-one and get in the end zone, which he did. But, the most exciting part about that was, yes, Noah got, his averages of 1 catch, 23 yards, 1 touchdown, so that's a pretty good stat line. But it was also a freshman quarterback, Benton Fox's first touchdown pass. So, so we're excited about that. We're excited about his growth and his process and progress as well.
Hey, when you have a young quarterback, freshman quarterback, I guess there's going to be, 1 step forward, 2 steps back sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, sometimes.
And so you have to teach. You don't want to get him to a point where he's feels like the pressure is already big enough. And body-wise, he may not have mature like he is when he's a senior, but you have to kind of handle him a little differently, particularly through the bad times.
You do, because there's a lot of different things and a lot of information that he's got to process at a rapid pace, and it happens fast. And then you throw a little bit of nerves in it, and then you could, if it doesn't go right, then a kid, you could ruin that kid from an emotional standpoint. It won't be from a physical standpoint. It'll just be emotionally, because he'll start playing with doubt and he'll start being hesitant, and then he's not going to be any good to anybody. So we're very, very careful about what we do with him. We're very selective about what we do with him. We don't try to coddle him or anything like that. He gets coached. He gets coached pretty hard by his quarterback coach, and so if he ever listens to that, he's probably smiling about that as well. But he's going to be a good player. He did some good things, some not so good things, but that's what you expect from a young kid.
We're talking to Floyd Walker, the head coach of the Eagleville Eagles. And, Coach, one thing that is a standard to me is Eagleville, and I tell it every year that we talk, the defense always seems to show up. No matter what's going on, your defenses always tend to show up.
We did. I thought defensively I thought people were where they're supposed to be. People made the right reads and got where they belonged and made the plays that they were supposed to make. And we played a lot of people early. We had backups in on defense basically in the second quarter, and I thought our seconds did a tremendous job of keeping them out of the end zone. I think they got in late. We had some substitution problems that we'll go back and we'll address with some of the younger kids. But defensively, Coach Spann does a super job. Coach Pip does a super job. Coach Haley does a super job with them, and we've all kind of been together for somewhere around between 10 to 14 years. So that cohesiveness kind of helps out on that side of it.
That is a good point you make. It's like when you have a coaching unit that has been able to stay together as long as they have. There's not much. You don't have to really communicate with them like, hey, I know what are you going to do? You're not having to ask that because you know what they're going to do,
right?
And they know what you're going to do,
right? And it's been, it's always been a little bit easier on that side of the ball because of that, and it's pretty much one of those deals where you know how you want to adjust the formations, you know what coverages you want to play to certain formations, and it's one of those deals to where when you have defensive meetings and you start game prepping, it's very smooth conversations that go on with not a whole lot of discussion because it's like a movie. Been there, done that, and, we're in the scope. So.
Amen. And once you get a guy at Eagleville, they don't usually leave. You can't hardly get them to leave, can you?
And people think it's because of, the football program. No, it's the kids.
Yeah.
It's the kids. I mean, you have super kids. You have super kids that come to work every day. They're very respectful to not only the coaches, they're respectful to their teachers, they're respectful to their other classmates. It's a very, very unique but wonderful place to be. And everybody that works there is blessed and grateful to have the opportunity to do that.
No problems with the heat last night, I guess. The clouds and the rain helped a little bit.
We had a little shower on the way there, but it was hot, it was warm, but I think both teams handled the heat extremely well. I think maybe it was one, possibly two kids that cramped up, one for us and one for them. So from just a heat standpoint, there was no issues, and it was a good night for football.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about Moore County before I let you go.
I was trying to avoid that.
Yeah, I know. We got to the end. You almost made it. But they're always phenomenal and a tough battle. It's good. I know glad you got that win to kind of give a little bit more confidence as you go in to a tough rival, Moore County.
Yeah, it's one of those deals. We talk about it. Football is the only sport where you got to wait 7 days to try to get back on the winning side. So nobody's happy for 7 days. So we'll enjoy it for the rest of this weekend. But Moore County comes to our place on next Friday, September the 6th, and it ought to be a great atmosphere. Coach White, Chris White, does a tremendous job with that program. They're going to be extremely sound, extremely physical. We went there twice last year. First game, was a close battle. Playoff game got away from us. We didn't play exceptionally well. But I look forward to what these kids will do. I think they'll step up and accept this challenge. And I think it'll be an exciting night for football again.
All right. Floyd, appreciate it as always.
Hey, and look here, man, at some point in time, I may try to get your granddaughters to come over here and have this conversation. They keep being on one of these interviews, though.
They might tell stuff on Papa that, you never know. That's Floyd Walker, the head coach of the Eagles, and this portion of the show brought to you by Ideas Tees, who'll be happy to help you fulfill all of your imprinted apparel, embroidery, and advertising specialty needs. You can find out more at ideastees.com. That's going to do it for the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner. Up next is MTCS Cougar Corner after this brief break.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. Tell us what it's like to work at a family business.
It's a lot of fun. However, it's a lot of work. Everybody has to pull their weight equally.
What do you think are some of the advantages of people doing business with a family business versus a corporate business?
We are here to answer all questions. We're responsible for scheduling jobs. We're not here to sell you material and pass you off to a list of installers.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
It's time to talk MTCS sports. It's Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA, live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
We're joined by Middle Tennessee Christian School coaches to talk about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. It's time to talk orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner.
And hello, everyone. John Dingens here on MTCS Cougar Corner. And we are so glad to have you all drop in this morning. And we've got, first of all, we're going to talk to the head football coach, and that's Christian Peterson. And Coach, we'll talk about the game last night. It wasn't what you wanted. It was shut out, and it was, 42-0, I believe. But a pretty good Masters Academy. They are a solid football team, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. We got them early last year, and we were able to cause them some issues. They kind of righted the ship as the season went on, ended up winning the state title in their classification, and they brought a lot of guys back, and they're a well-coached football team, and they came out ready to play.
When the schedule is already made out, and you're the defending state champions, and you knew that you were going to have to rebuild a lot in terms of the team, but the schedule doesn't change, so you still have to play these teams. What are you telling your guys now after last night? Because I know they want to win, they want to carry that tradition on. What do you tell them to keep them? Let's go.
Yeah, for us, it's just about understanding that our practice habits need to continue getting better. We've got to continue being physical in practice. We got to continue learning. We're kind of in that spot right now where, we have an option to make. We have options, right? Like we can just continue doing what we're doing, continue the way we're going, and continue struggling on Friday night, or we're gonna get together and we're gonna work and we're gonna play for each other, and we're going to increase our physicality in practice, and we're gonna get after each other a little bit, and we're gonna turn the ship around. There's still a lot of time left in this season. There's no one throwing their hat in right now. We can get back to work on Monday, and again, just keep making adjustments, keep tweaking things, and keep giving our kids an opportunity to learn. I know there's a lot of people that might go, oh man, maybe they're just not very good, maybe they're this, maybe they're that. Look, there's not a different group of kids I want to be coaching. This is my group of kids. I really enjoy coaching them. Again, some of them are young, some of them just haven't played a lot of snaps in varsity football games. As they continue to play, they're going to continue to get better. They're working hard. They're still learning. They're still learning what it takes to be a really good football team. And as long as we stay the course, as long as we keep working through our process, we're going to be okay.
Coach, just tell me really, because it's our first opportunity to talk, third week of the show, but how young are you guys? I mean, I know you got some really young players. And I'll ask a follow-up question with that, but you guys are pretty young, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think all the guys that got past us last night were freshmen or sophomores. We had one junior who caught a pass, but it's his first year playing football. We got him out from the baseball team. He's doing a great job for us. It's his second ever snap. Second ever game in a varsity season. A quarterback, his first time playing quarterback. He had played kind of our wingback slot spot, throughout his career until this year. Up front, we're young. We got a bunch of guys that are either sophomores or, it's really their first years as first-time starters. But, like I told them, like, when you show up on Friday night, nobody cares that you're young.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't get extra points for being young. So, we just got to get there. We got to keep working. Defensively, we got a freshman starting at nose guard, right? He's still learning. It's a lot different than playing middle school football. We got a couple freshmen that come in and rotate in at linebacker for us, and they're playing physical. They're trying to get there. It's just the game's moving fast for them right now.
Yeah.
And so as they keep getting more and more reps, and the game's going to slow down, they're going to play better. We're going to be okay. It's just we just got to keep working.
When you talk about physical too, when you're putting a freshman in there, a freshman body is a whole lot different than a 17 or 18-year-old body, isn't it? I find that fascinating to see how they grow. And they go in the workroom, the weight room, and you guys do a great job at the weight room. I mean, you've got one of the best. But it's still, you're 14, and you're up against a 17 or 18-year-old. Got to make a difference. I mean, it's really got to be at this particular time, it's going to get better. But right now, there is a gap.
For sure. I mean, anytime you're rolling out 14, 15-year-olds against 17, 18-year-olds, there's got to be a difference. Jason Spray says all the time that the work capacity for a senior is just significantly bigger than a freshman, right? So there's more you can do as they get older. And so right now there's a lot of things that we're still working out. We're still lifting 3 days a week. We're going to keep getting bigger. We're going to keep getting stronger. And we're going to see, those positives kind of show out and show up on Friday nights. Again, it's just, look, as they get more and more reps, the game's going to slow down. Once the game slows down, now they get to go and actually just play football. Right now, I think we saw some that are kind of playing with their hair on fire and just running around. Once they start to see it and they get more and more looks at it, I think we're going to be okay.
That's got to be overwhelming for a kid that's 14 years old, and here you are, I'm starting. And it does. I mean, there's so many things going on in that head, isn't there? I mean, you can't read their mind, but as a coach, that's happening.
Oh, for sure. I remember, when I was in high school, when I was a sophomore playing varsity, I remember that when I got moved up, it was like, man, this game moves way faster, right? And that was after playing a year of freshman football. Right now we've got a bunch of kids going from middle school football to varsity football, and we've opened it up with, a Final Four team from last year and a state champion from last year that both brought back a lot of guys. And so for them, the game's moving slow for them and it's moving really fast for us. And so I think it's good that our kids got to see that early. They got to see what those good teams look like and, just, again, learn from it, take what we can take from it, but understand like we're on the next Friday now.
Christian Peterson's our guest, the head coach of the Middle Tennessee Christian School Cougars here on Cougar Corner. And, Coach, you've got a great staff for this type of, you've got a great staff to win the state, but you've also got a staff that is a teaching staff, and that's what it's going to take this year. It's a different thing, but the coaches adapt, and you've got a really good crew for that.
Absolutely. I mean, both my coordinators do a really good job. BJ Robertson on the offensive side, has been around MTCS for a long time. He's kind of seen the ebbs and flows of kind of what we've got. We talk about it all the time. We're like, from strictly a talent perspective, we're going to be fine. It's just game reps. We just need more and more game reps. On the defense side of the ball, we got Anthony Kerr, who coached like 20 years in college, right? So he's coached all different levels. He's been, at the Division II level for a long time, where you kind of have big differences in talent year in and year out. And so, we've really kind of worked and just how do we make it a little bit simpler for them so they can just play. Maybe we don't put in absolutely everything right each week. We put together a package that allows them to try and play a little bit faster. And so it's just a conversation we have with them. And then, all the position coaches, they're all kid first guys. They're out there and they're working, and I think our kids enjoy playing for. I think our kids try and play hard for them. And again, I think as the game slows down, we'll just keep getting better.
Christian, there you have coaches like BJ who stayed around through 2 or 3 coaches. What's the allure of MTCS? I think I know what you're going to tell me here, but and what was the allure for you? And because BJ's been there, it's been with you, and I imagine you all will continue to be together. What is the allure about Middle Tennessee Christian School? Because I'm sure there's places you go to bigger names and that kind of thing, bigger schools.
Yeah, I think it's the people. I think it's the people of the community, right? I think, they're supportive. They've got your back. They show up. We had a great crowd last night, even when the game got, a little lopsided there, they were still there. They were loud. They were cheering them on. The people there are fantastic, right? I think that's really what makes MTCS who we are. BJ, obviously I want to keep him as long as he'll stay. I think he's a really good football mind. The two of us kind of go back and forth on what do we want to do? Do we want to do this? Do we want to do that? I kind of come from the offensive line background. It's where I played, and he was a quarterback. So I think together we work pretty well. He understands what do our backs understand right now. What can they do? What do they excel at? And then I'm normally pretty good at what does the O-line excel? What are they good at? And then we'd look at, okay, so like we're good at this up front, we're good at this in the backfield. How can we mesh those two things together to help us be successful? And I think having 2 guys there that kind of have both offensive backgrounds, but one from the line, one from the skill guys, it really kind of helps mesh us and allows us to build the offense as the year goes on.
I wanted to ask you a question too about with being so young and again, I'm not using that as an excuse, but somebody that's going to kind of take the wheel, a standout. Are the kids still battling to find out? Okay, this kid can do this or this, and maybe y'all are still searching, but because when you have that many come in that young, sometimes it's hard to establish. Okay, this kid's going to be the one I can count on each and every night. Is it still a kind of a scramble for that?
Yeah, I think right now we're kind of by committee. I don't know that we have, one guy, right, which I don't really think is an issue. What we're still working on is like the vocal side of things. Our older guys are very much, lead by example, and they do a great job of that. And they do things the right way. But they're still growing into the vocal leader, the high energy, right? Like get everybody juiced up and everything like that. Again, I think they do a lot of really good things, and I think they've just been kind of thrust into a role that is a little uncomfortable for them right now. But I do think right now, today, I think we're better at it than we were 2 weeks ago, right? I think they've continued to grow. I think they've continued to work. Again, I don't think anyone's thrown a hat in the ring and said, we're done. We're just going to absorb it the rest of this year and move on. I think all of our kids left last night going like, we need to be back on Monday and we need to be ready to go. And so, again, I like where we're at from a mentality standpoint. I think we're going to be okay. It's about growing and getting better each week.
As a coach, I think you have to look at it too this way, I guess. You look for improvements, and your expectations may get a little bit different. You're going to win. Your expectation is always to win, but inside the game, you're kind of looking, and I guess you get enjoyment out of seeing a kid, first time. Okay, it's his first tackle, or he does something special. I'm sure he gets a kick because I know the kind of guy you are and the kind of coaches you have. It's kind of that's kind of the thing that feeds you, doesn't it?
Absolutely. A lot of coaches kind of talking about like it's the light bulb moment.
Yeah.
Right. I think we have a lot of guys right now that the light bulb's kind of flickering on. Right. It's not all the way on yet, but it's showing signs of he's close. He's going to be there very soon. He's just not quite there yet. And so, I think we've got a handful of guys on our team that are kind of in that spot right now where you'll watch him one play and be like, man, that was perfect. That is it. That is exactly what we want. And the next play, they take the wrong step or they hit the wrong gap or, they fill the wrong hole. And so, kind of the same thing we've been preaching is consistency, right? We just got to continue to be consistent. We're showing flashes of who we want to be and what we can do. I think even last night, I thought we moved the ball pretty well from 20 to 20, and we struggled when we got into the red zone, right? We had penalties, things like that we just can't happen once you get inside the 20. And so we just got to be able to finish drives, keep moving the football. And, we get a couple in there early, it might change the game and get a little momentum and be able to go. And so, again, I think it's just we did a lot of good things from 20 to 20, right? So now we've got to take that next step of being able to punch it in the end zone and finish off.
And that's part of that too, isn't it? I mean, the youth, you get there and then we got to finish. Right. And then the next step is having a lead, and you got to finish that. You got to be able to maintain a lead or hold them off. I mean, all those little things that people, I guess, don't really think about, but you guys are constantly thinking about that.
For sure. I mean, we had a 14-play drive and a 12-play drive in the first half. We had like a lot of things have to go right in order to have a drive.
Yeah.
But we got to finish, right? Like, we're moving the ball. We're getting first downs. We're getting ourselves into spots. We completed some big time passes. We ran some good routes early, and then we kind of got into the red zone, and maybe we missed a block and made a bad read. We had the wrong hole, something like that, and now it puts us behind the chains. When we're kind of squeezed up into that red zone, there's a little bit less room, and so we again just have to be able to finish when we get there. We had a good drive. Now let's go end it with points. Let's go put points on the board. Let's go get the reward, right? Like, you were out there, you worked really hard for 14 plays. Let's go get points for it.
If you get 14 play drive and you score, this changes the whole complexion of the game. I mean, those two drives alone would change the complexion of the game, I would think.
Absolutely. You take a lot of time on the clock, you put points on the board, and then you can start to force the other team to feel like, oh man, we've got to score, or when they get the ball, they're gonna have it for a long time. And so, again, I think if we were able to punch one of the two of those ones early in, I think it does kind of change the complexion of the game, gives us a little bit of momentum. Again, we just got to finish. When we get down there, we've got to find a way to get the ball in the end zone. And it's gonna be one of the big things that we're looking at. This weekend as we get ready for next week is what worked, what didn't. What is something that we're really good at right now? Like, let's look at that and let's see if we can get that. And what are some things that we're not doing very well, right? And, again, just trying to make sure we're putting the kids in the best possible position that they can play fast.
You go on the road to Grace Christian, but I think right now, from talking to you, the way you sound, I think you're more interested in making MTCS improving rather than necessarily worrying about what Grace Christian has. I know you do, and you're going to do that, but you're looking for improvement within.
Yeah. We talked about it last year, and we talked about it this year, right? Like, I care about us.
Mm-hmm.
I care about how we play. If we do what we're supposed to do, it'll take care of itself. And so right now we've got enough stuff that we've got to get, buttoned up, and we've got to get fixed. And, as a coaching staff, that's on us, right? Like, the kids are trying. They're no one's out there, no one's quit. And so, as a staff, we've got to sit down and we've got to figure out what is going to help them play to the best of their ability. And, it's a puzzle, right? It's a puzzle, and we're just trying to get all the pieces put together. Again, I think the benefit of the football season is it's a long season.
Yeah.
And so we've got time, but in the microwave society that we want, everybody wants to win right away, right? And listen, I want to win. I want to win every game we ever play, right? I'm probably one of the most competitive people you ever meet. But I also understand, that it's a process. There's a process to winning. And, being a part of even last year's team, like, there was a process. You can't take shortcuts. If you take shortcuts now, it's just going to hurt you next year and the year after that. There's a way that we have to handle it. There's a way that we have to practice. There's a way that we need to play. And, we're going to keep working until we get to that standard. If we allow it to not be that way, if we allow practice to not be that way, if we don't play that way in a game, if we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, then next year that's going to continue, and the following year that's going to continue. And so really for us, it's just about making sure that we're playing to our standard all the time, every rep of every play.
Coach, always a pleasure talking to you. Non-related football, okay? How's this? Fall Festival, you got that coming up? Isn't that soon?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what weekend. I think it's like in 2 weeks.
Okay, it is in September though, right? Okay. Yeah, I thought it was, and that's a big time. I mean, that whole place is, and I guess you've got football going on every week, don't you? I mean, Ed's still doing the junior pro football kind of stuff, or the flag, or what goes on Saturday, I guess.
So Saturdays, normally during Fall Festival, that's normally like our bye week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If we have to play a game, we try and do it at home. That way, everyone gets to go to Fall Festival. It's a really great event. There's a lot of really cool things.
Well, I think that happened last year. We did wasn't it an home game last year? Because we did that game and we saw everybody going. I said, they're having a fall festival. I mean, there's people everywhere in that thing.
Oh, it's nuts.
Yeah,
nuts. We have a ton of people showing for football games, but we can't match Fall Festival. It's definitely one of the biggest things that we do at our school, and people get really involved. And I think, again, it goes back to the community.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it is as successful as it is because people care.
Yeah.
People want it to be good. And so it is. And so, again, I think you can't fake that.
Yeah.
Like, you're either all in or you're not. And I think our people are all in. And I think that's what's going to help, not just us, but our whole school continue to get better and continue to grow. I still think MTCS is just kind of scratching the surface on what it can be and what it's going to be. And, again, I think, we got new buildings popping up all the time. We're building a new ELC, and so it's an exciting time to be at MTCS for sure.
A beautiful place, and they've done some really good cosmetic things too. The gates up at the front, or the brick up at the front, all that looks great. So, football next week, you're going to be on the road, but you'll have a crowd there, I guarantee you. We've been talking to Coach Christian Peterson, the head coach of the MTCS Cougars, here on Cougar Corner. And Brian Barrett's going to tell us after this break, he's going to tell us all about all the sports that are going on, volleyball, all that, soccer, all that kind of stuff going on. So you won't have to do it, Coach. All right. This is John Dingan signing off for Cougar Corner. Brian Barrett will be back to wrap things up here on Cougar Corner.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
The large majority of our kids are involved in athletics or extracurricular activities, one or the other, and most are doing multiple activities.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
And that's a great preparation for life. How many of us in our life are just doing one thing? So a well-rounded student is a huge deal.
Invest in your child's future in a Christ-centered environment with many athletic and extracurricular choices.
Without a doubt, our students have the opportunity to be involved in multiple activities.
To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
People love to see us on the schedule when they have a home game because our fans show up.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
The way we travel is just phenomenal. Our parents and our community are fully engaged in our school. When we compete, we're trying to do it in a way that honors God. We want to win. We also want to do it in a way that pleases Him.
Providing Christian values and academic excellence in a nurturing environment. That's Middle Tennessee Christian School. Invest in the future of your child. Find out more at mtcscougars.org.
It's MTCS Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA, live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
On FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Welcome back this morning as we wrap up MTCS Cougar Corner. Let's take a look at some of the scores from this week's happening, shall we? Look at volleyball first. JV Middle School volleyball over PCA 2-0. The JV Middle School beat PCA 2-1 as well. And it was Middle School PCA over MTCS 2-0. MTCS Golf, a winner over Webb, 162-141. And on Tuesday, JV Middle School Volleyball, a 2-0 win over Eagleville Middle School by the same score as well. It was the varsity volleyball team defeating PCA 3-2, and BGA best the MTCS volleyball team 3-1. Also on, that was Thursday for that occurrence, if you will. MTCS JV Middle School beating Webb 2-0 in volleyball. That was on Thursday as well. 14-14 the final score with the 5th and 6th grade football and Good Pasture ending that in a tie. Middle school volleyball, a 2-0 win on Thursday over Webb. And middle school football defeated Good Pasture 20-14. MTCS girls soccer was a 2-1 winner over Grace Baptist Academy. And that was last night, as well as last night's Masters Academy MTCS football game, which went 42-0 to Masters Academy. So let's look ahead at some things that are coming up. Golf on Tuesday next week will take on Webb. Middle school boys and girls tennis will host Christiana. It will be it's JV volleyball, high school JV volleyball, and Grace Christian on Tuesday as well. JV will play Christiana, middle school JV. It will be MTCS girls soccer on Tuesday versus FRA, actually hosting FRA. The middle school cross country team playing in the TSIAA meet. Also on the 3rd, middle school volleyball versus Christiana. Varsity volleyball will host Grace Christian, and MTCS golf taking on FCS coming up on the 5th next week. That's on Thursday. Also next Thursday, it's JV middle school volleyball at Friendship Christian. MTCS boys and girls tennis will host Rockvale. JV volleyball middle school style will be at Friendship Christian. And volleyball will host JV and varsity USN next week on Thursday night. The 5th and 6th grade football team will be taking on Friendship Christian. They'll host them, as a matter of fact. It will be varsity volleyball hosting USN. Also on the 5th, middle school volleyball will be at Friendship Christian. Girls soccer will take on Cannon County at Cannon County next Thursday. Middle school football, and they will host Friendship Christian. We've got some cross country coming up for you on Friday, along with the Grace Christian football game for MTCS on the road, and that takes us through next week. That is a look at your Cougar Corner scoreboard here for this Saturday morning, and a look ahead at what's coming up. Don't forget, later this evening, well, let's say afternoon at 4:30 airtime, it's Middle Tennessee football as the Blue Raiders take on Tennessee Tech. 4:30 airtime with Dick Palmer and also J.P. Plant. Chip Walters and Joe Dubin will have the play-by-play story for you. 6 o'clock will be the kickoff. Good luck to the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders under new head coach Derek Mason. Next Friday night, we're Siegel at Smyrna for State Farm Prep football. Next Saturday morning, right back here for the coaches' conversation. My thanks to my co-hosts this morning, Bill Hockenberry and John Dinkins, and our producer, Dalton Barrett. I'm Brian Barrett. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great Labor Day weekend. If you've got Labor Day off, enjoy that extra day and a long weekend. So long until the next time we see you right here on the radio.
I know I've recently gotten into, listening to you guys and all the